all those roofs with ugly algae streaks. Those roofs look old before their time.
Quick point of emphasis.
What happened?
On when you come in with your music.
Too loud?
You can trust our pediatric.
Yeah, and because it's loud, that makes you go louder than it, and both of them is peaking. It's like real. So in the beginning of your show, the past 2 days has been like, a lot of distortion.
This is Chuck. Do you feel stupid for buying a timeshare? Don't. It's not your fault. You were most likely told you could rent it, and it was a great financial investment. And the deal was available today only. If this happened to you, contact your resort or Wesley Financial Group for help today.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-791-1313. 800-791-1313.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
Our office computers were from like 2012.
What? They had computers then?
Yeah, I don't know much about new tech.
Apparently.
So I went to Staples and saved big on an AI-powered HP laptop and HP OfficeJet Pro printer, which also came with 3 months of free instant ink.
And we're back in this
You know what?
century.
We may
During
just have
Staples
to get
HP
you to
Tech
start
Event,
playing.
save up to 35% on HP printers and up.
Oh, you attach it to the intro.
Can you do that? Would that make it even easier so then you don't have to worry about me?
Wesley Financial.
Yeah, if you want to.
Oh, definitely not an attorney.
Did I not forward it to you?
If someone
Yeah, but you have a shorter version. You forward.
Yeah. I did make it short.
little
Okay, let me
thing,
forward you
my
that.
advice,
Okay.
the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit information kit. 800-384-9393. That's 800-384-9393.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000.
And 10.
Not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to AudionHearing.com.
Okay, maybe not today.
Yeah, we're gonna go with your way today.
All right.
But I will put it into the thing for Monday.
Hey, shh. Calm down. The show is about to start. Reese on the radio. Turn it up. Turn it up low. Turn it up loud.
It's like a dream come true.
Turn on your radio.
Reese is on the radio. Yo, let's get it.
Due to the nature of this program, discretion does not exist. It's Reese on the radio. Right now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
How we doing there, Roland? That good? Sounds a whole lot lower. Hey, what's going on, all you scallywags? Happy Friday to you. You know what time it is. All the news and all the views, scallywags. It's Reese on the radio on WTIC News Talk 1080. Welcome, everybody, checking out the show. I want to start today's program. But before I get into the opening monologue, I want to do something that I normally don't do. I want to give a shout out to somebody. I do it now and again, but this is a particular shout out. It's somebody that you know and love, who has been busting his hump for free. I got to find a way to pay the guy. That's how bad it's gotten. And now that I've said it, now I definitely have to do it. I want to give a shout out to none other than Mark of West Hartford, Mark Walsh, because we are going to feature him on the program today. And I want to do this segment because I am going to nurture Mark in a way that will make him the toast of the town. And they're going to come after him. And when I say people coming after him, there will be journalists and public officials alike. Mark, be ready. Be ready. They're going to come after you in so many ways. But I am going to nurture your, what I can only describe as like this this thing that sort of energized you to do it, to go out there and get these stories and report on them. No one asked you. You took it upon yourself. You saw what was going on and you acted. And I know a lot of people give you guff. So what? A lot of people give me guff all the time. But when you're doing it for the right reasons, when you're doing it because, again, and you're doing it without even getting paid, the most you get are complaints. If you were paid in anything, you've been paid in grief. But you give a damn. And it's not about the money. It's about passion. So I have decided on my own, because he deserves it, I am going to do, when he does it, and I know this will probably encourage him to do it more. Sometimes I'm going to have to tell him, Mark, nope, not this time. Nah, not feeling that one. Mark, you'll have to get used to that. He said he's got an Irish sort of an ego thing where, it's like his Irish blood gets him inflamed when anybody tells him no. I understand. I'm there too. But I want to start something, and with his permission, he'll call in and he'll tell me. I want to do something called Mark Walsh Reports. I think that's a perfect thing. I pressed the wrong button. I want to do Mark Walsh Reports, and I'm going to feature it today in the opening monologue, because what he did today, I don't even think he realized it until I mentioned it. And when I told him, he went, "Oh yeah, wow." And it's because he doesn't have an angle. And if you let people speak, they'll expose themselves. We'll get to it in a second. Also, I just want to let you know that I have finished the intro to this thing that you guys have been bugging me about. You guys have been bugging me about, hey, Reese, you don't ever, you do Negro nonsense. You don't do anything for the white folks. And the white folks are the ones that are saying it. Hey, come on, come at us. We don't just want Negro nonsense. We want, crazy white man stuff. No problem. No problem. I've got you covered. All right? And it's going to debut on Tuesdays. This coming Tuesday. You white folks who want this to happen, you are going to get it. Roland, should I play a teaser? Should I wait until Tuesday? It's Friday. Should we wait? I'm going to let the producer decide. He's got an Emmy.
I would wait.
You'd wait? You don't think I should tease it? I have the whole bit. It's like it's visual. It's recorded and everything. You think I should wait?
Yeah, you don't want to tease it too early.
Okay, all right, then we will wait. There it is. He's got the Emmy, so he'll make the rules. You guys can scream and holler at me in the chat room. So, yeah, Wendy's like, play it. Nope. The Emmy Award winner says no. He says we got to save it. Plus, we've got, don't forget, we got Roseanne in the house today. She's going to join the program. We'll talk to her. It's ladies' night as it is. I'm also working, just to let you know, we are working on getting Kool and the Gang on here. I'm doing it diligently every day. They're working with their manager, the public relations folks, Angelo Ellerby and Kevin Goins. They're the guys working at Double Exposure to get Kool and the Gang on here, but they're working with their management team to carve out some time for them to be on the show during the afternoon. They're going to be in Atlantic City coming up very soon. They're not coming to our region, but that's the closest they're going to be. But I don't care. They're on tour, and I want to catch them before they leave the country because they're going overseas. So I thought it would be great for this audience. A lot of them love Kool and the Gang, so I want to talk to them about a host of things. I got to look at their set list, and it's like I know every song, I think, except one, which is baffling to me because I thought they would play a bunch of different songs that I wasn't familiar with, but it turns out I know most of them. So we'll talk to them, and I will keep you updated on when that's happening. So let me get to the Mark Walsh thing. And like I said, I'm calling it Mark Walsh Reports. And you can find him on X at Mark from West Hartford. So he today ran into Representative John Larson, getting ready to go into this town hall to talk about the government shutdown. And everyone was told that the conversation was going to be exclusively on the government shutdown, nothing else. So Mark had to get down there to ask him about the story we've been covering about the Newington 7. And Mark wanted to find out directly from him, why haven't you been down there? He's spoken to everyone, and everyone down there has told him, we've not seen Representative John Larson down here. He cares about us. He's screaming and hollering to the president about the SS, and this isn't Germany, and this isn't 1939, all that other garbage. But he has not been down there to talk to the immigrants who work at that car wash or the gas station. But John Larson had something very alarming to say. Here is that audio, the first piece.
Hey, John, Mark Walsh, retired Hartford firefighter. I know it's a one-topic situation here, so they already told me I can't go in and ask you a question. I'm going to ask you one question because I know you got to get in there.
Yeah.
So you were down in Newington 3-4 weeks ago.
Yep.
And, of course, your rhetoric made it national news. And do you have anything to say to the ICE agents now that after that rhetoric, some of the things you said, along with politicians all over, but you've made national news saying the stuff you said.
Right.
Do you have any regrets in saying stuff like SS and Nazis and, you know, now that we know these agents are getting hurt and people are trying to hurt them and, actually kill them?
They're trying to kill the ICE agents.
Did you hear that? John Walsh is in the dark on ICE agents being attacked, and a national story that happened in Dallas less than a week ago where 2 detainees died as a result of gunshot wounds.
Larson.
I'm sorry?
Larson.
What did I call him?
Walsh.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. John Larson. Sorry. John Larson, yeah. So he's saying they're trying to get killed. It was like, what is he, insane? I couldn't believe when I heard it. They're trying to get killed? Where you been? You don't know that there's been an uptick in violence against ICE agents? John Larson, what's wrong with you? Yeah, I know. Mike's like, is he that stupid? No. Unless he doesn't know. But it got worse. Here's the other piece. Mark said, you know what? Let's get off that because the important thing is to find out what's going on in Newington. You haven't been down there. You haven't talked to anybody. I've talked to the employees there. No one has come to see them or even show any concern about their well-being. When Mark, who has told us, talked to the brothers of one of the detainees who says that who knows, they may come and get me next week. So he asked Larson about it.
Did you know what they were arrested for at the Newington car wash? There were domestic abuses.
Did they notify any of the local officials? Did
you guys never went up there? I go there, and you know what they told me?
Did they notify the local police?
You know what they told me?
Did they
that
notify
you haven't been
the
up to
mayor?
the car wash.
I've been
Mayor
to the car
Trister
wash.
hasn't.
I've been
I was
to
just
the car.
there 2 days
I was
ago.
just with the owner last week.
Oh, no, this car wash where it happened.
Yes.
You were there with the owner.
No, not with the owner. I was with the owner last week. I drove by there.
No, I'm talking about going there physically to talk to them.
Going physically there where it was.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah. But let me ask you, did you know that
so
they were
in other words, so these are hardened criminals.
Now, Larson said something in that piece that blew my mind. He says he went there to meet with the owner. Why? The owner is a lawbreaker. Isn't he? What did he go down to meet the owner for? To tell the owner, perhaps you should stop hiring illegals? Talking about you met with the owner who's hiring people who he shouldn't be, probably paying them off the books, because 7 of his employees, that owner's employees, are now detained for several things, like fake Social Security numbers, fake IDs, for domestic violence, What are you going to see the owner for? Are you going down there to show your support for somebody who's breaking the law? Not hiring Americans, hiring folks at pennies on the dollar? Is that what Larson is suggesting here? I met with the owner. For what? And then it went off the rails.
That they took away. Taking
Domestic
a mother,
abuse. How do you
taking a
feel about
mother.
domestic
How do
abuse
you
charges?
feel about taking
How
a
do you
mother
feel-
away from their
how
child?
do you feel about
those officers were
disregarding- how do you feel
domestically
about-
abused?
How do you feel
They were
about
domestically abused by those
disrespecting-
mothers?
Or how
Those
do you,
mothers
do you believe in
disrespected
restraining
them?
orders?
Do
How
you
about
believe,
violating a
in
restraining
grabbing
order?
mothers from their children?
What's your
you think
thoughts
that
on
that's good
violating?
and not notifying
What's
any
your
police?
thoughts on
You
violating
don't
a
get to just
restraining
ask.
order?
Get that goes both
What's
ways.
your thought on domestic
Sir,
abuse?
if I may,
What's your thought on fake?
Sir,
What's your?
I'm going to ask
What's
you to come
what's your
inside.
what's your opinion on fake Social Security cards, which they had? You said there's no fraud. I've heard you say that.
Yes.
Trump is always saying there's
Sir.
fraud. There's no fraud.
you
He's
may-
standing here. He's engaging me.
There's an
You're-
opportunity to engage with him.
You
inside.
obviously have your own point of view.
Sorry,
God bless you. That's what makes America a great country.
And that's all he had to say. He wanted to talk about women. And when Mark asked him about domestic abuse allegations against those who were detained, he started talking about whether or not ICE agents were domestically abused by women. Now, folks, I'm no psychiatrist. I'm no doctor. I am not going to sit up here and disparage the man's mental faculties. I'm not. But those are three very glaring things that we realized in Mark's conversation with John Larson. One, he appears to not know that there is violence being committed against ICE agents. Two, he's meeting with lawbreakers, showing his support for them. Because that's the only reason why he went down there. He didn't go down there to go talk to illegals. He went there to talk to people breaking the law. I met with the owner of the company. You went down there? Yes, I drove down there. No one else saw him, but he met with the owner. That's a hell of an honor to give someone breaking the law. Getting a visit by your local representative. And then goes on to talk about what I can only describe as nonsense. He wants to talk about women being separated from children, which, by the way, is not the story anywhere. Have you heard this story about the Newington 7? Did you hear any story about women being taken? Nope, not once. What's he talking about? Now, all of a sudden, he's making this argument about women are being snatched from their children. That's not the case at all. There are no reports about that. In headlines today, there's another thing that John Larson is lying about. And it's a big fat lie, and he's fundraising off of it. What I want to know is, why won't these folks report on it? This? They will. This little tidbit? They will. Because the question has to be asked, John, what the hell are you talking about? Why are you meeting with employers that hire illegals? I can understand your solidarity with illegals in there. That's status quo for Democrats. But to go down there to show some support for somebody who's breaking the law, that person is evading taxes. John Larson, that is who you're supporting. And you got an election campaign coming up. Anyone who's voting for you is voting for employers to be able to do that. They are literally signing off on that, as we like to call it in the hood, co-signing it. Yeah, take those jobs from people who he should be paying on the books. I'm not calling John Larson a corrupt man. I'm not even trying to suggest that he is. But he's got some issues. And perhaps at his elderly state, he has lost his compass, his rational one. And maybe he's just a screaming old man shouting at the moon. But this audio says a lot about who he is and what he represents. And if you folks think that he should be elected again, I think somebody should check you out mentally. That's just my view. We'll play a little bit more of this, and we'll also talk about confronting gun violence through lies. Why is Bridgeport still trying to bleed Sandy Hook to make a point about gun control? We'll talk about that and much, much more. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Attention Southern New England HVAC and mechanical contractors. Eagle Rivet is your trusted roofing partner for professional roof penetrations and flashing. We ensure your customers' roofs remain watertight during installations, protecting their warranties. We also offer complimentary roof inspections to identify potential issues before any HVAC work begins. Call Eagle Rivet today at 860-953-1231 or visit us online at eaglerivet.com. That's EAGLERIVET.com. Eagle Rivet is proud to support rebuilding together Hartford.
There's a lot happening in Washington and in your local neighborhood.
Follow WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey app to keep up with the latest.
Tune in to How to Retire with Fuchs Financial.
The main thing for the majority of the listeners out there who are approaching retirement is I don't want to be surprised.
Helping you build, preserve, and manage your wealth.
You've got Roth IRAs, you have individual accounts. And finding the right taxable strategy, that's going to be huge for you.
Tune in to How to Retire with Ben Fuchs. Sundays at 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. right here on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Some big news. Just before Charlie Kirk died, he issued a stark warning of terrifying dangers and threats ahead for those who stand for truth. Charlie wrote this in his last published work, the foreword for the new book, Pagan Threat. Authored by Pastor Lucas Miles, Charlie said that Pagan Threat could save America. Charlie said you must read, internalize, and share this book. It has the plan to stop the wokeism infecting America. Already a #1 Amazon bestseller, Pagan Threat is available wherever books are sold. Get Pagan Threat free with Newsmax's special offer and save $30. Go online now to paganthreat.com. That's paganthreat.com. Millions are tuning into Newsmax on all major cable systems. They're downloading our free Newsmax app on their smartphones. And they're getting Pagan Threat to see Charlie Kirk's final words. Go today to paganthreat.com. That's paganthreat.com.
And now, a WTIC News Update.
It's 2:30, Hartford temperature 72 degrees. I'm John Silva. WTIC 1080 News. Government shutdown continues in its third day with votes expected later today in the Senate on the same continuing resolution to keep the government funded for several more weeks as a standoff on health care spending persists. Meantime, the state's congressional delegation met at Access Health CT to say without the Obamacare-era subsidies renewed, healthcare costs would soar for Americans. The abnormally dry weather has Connecticut Water asking customers in several towns to voluntarily conserve. Same goes for Bristol. The mayor there says they're asking residents to voluntarily adopt an odd-even system of watering. Says the reservoirs are currently at about 70%. Kimberly Sullivan, the Waterbury stepmother, accused of holding her stepson captive for nearly 20 years from the age of 11 until earlier this year, is in court at this hour to address issues involving GPS monitoring, the retrieval of personal belongings from her home, and access to victim medical records. President Trump says Hamas must agree to a proposed peace deal by Sunday, threatening an even greater military onslaught nearly 2 years into the war sparked by the October 7th attack on Israel. And hopes for a quick end to the government shutdown appear to be fading. Republicans and Democrats digging in for a prolonged fight, even as the president readies a plan to announce layoffs and cuts across the federal government. WTIC News Time 2:32. Bob Cox has the forecast.
It's a very pleasant afternoon out there across the area, but we're just whetting our appetites for what's coming up for the weekend. We'll have sunny conditions out there until 6:28 this evening when the sun sets today. Temperatures in the low 70s, west to southwest wind at about 10 miles per hour. Tonight, a clear sky. Temperatures not as cold as the past couple nights. Lows in the mid 40s to low 50s. Full sunshine tomorrow, high around 80 degrees with light wind and low humidity. Clear Saturday night, lows in the 50s. Sunny and warm Sunday, highs in the low 80s. Winds remaining light. And Monday looks sunny and warm with a high near 80 degrees. I'm meteorologist Bob Cox in the WTIC Weather Center.
Dow's up 347 points. NASDAQ's up 50. NASDAQ is down 50. The S&P is up 11. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Hi, this is Eric Hogarth, Certified Financial Planner from Money Wisdom. Learn ways to prevent avoidable surprises from derailing your retirement and discover smart financial strategies for your future. Listen every week on Money Wisdom, Saturdays at 8:30 on WTIC News Talk 1080.
More than a few of our patients have talked to me about their first time, but it's not the first time you're probably thinking about. It's the first time that erectile dysfunction ruined the moment. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health. And if you're over 50, it's likely that you've had that first time yourself. But the good news is that if you're like most men, that first time can be the last time that ED impacts your sex life. At Northeast Men's Health, we're experts in treating ED. We've treated tens of thousands of men using protocols with success rates well over 90%. And those treatments, in most cases, have made sex great again for both them and their partners. You could even find that you're performing like you haven't in years. So if ED has been affecting your intimacy, it's time to make the last time that happens the last time that happens. For just $99, you'll receive blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956. That's 800-930-5956 or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the Northeast to serve you. Northeast Men's Health, a Promedic restorative health practice.
Here's a few questions for you from California Psychics. Do your workdays seem to go on forever? Is your career progression as fast as downtown traffic? Or does your boss still not know your name?
Hey, you, Tina, Lisa, Sheila, whatever. Get that report to me by lunch, okay? It's Terry, ma'am. Just get it done, Terry.
It's time to read the career warning signs and talk to California Psychics. We're always on hand to give you the career guidance you need. You see, we only connect you with the very best. In fact, 98% of the psychics who apply to work with us don't make the grade. That's why we can guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. So you could soon be telling your boss where to stick that report.
Where are you going, Terry? Terry!
Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics. Call 1-800-PREDICT today and get 20 minutes for just $20.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
The IRS finally caught up with Louie.
I hadn't paid my taxes in 8 years. I owe the IRS a lot of money.
Louie was in deep trouble.
We're going to take your house, put a lien on your bank account, garnish your pay. They don't care. They're going to take your paycheck.
Louie found out about Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima Tax, they help me. They calm me down. They make me feel comfortable, and I trust them.
Louie has a lot to be thankful for.
I don't owe the IRS anymore, and I'm able to live a comfortable life, a lot better life. It was because of Optima Tax.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation. Take it from Louie.
If you owe the IRS, don't go it alone. Give Optima Tax a call. They can help you.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
This health fact brought to you by ProHealth Physicians.
One of the best ways to stay healthy during flu season is to get your flu shot. Hi, I'm Kayla Dixon, a primary care nurse practitioner at ProHealth Physicians in Southington. A yearly flu shot is a safe and effective way to prevent the flu. It protects both you and others. We recommend everyone 6 months of age and up to get their flu shot each year, especially those who are 65 or older, pregnant, or with chronic conditions. Getting vaccinated helps stop millions of people from getting sick and thousands from dying. If you do get sick, your symptoms will likely be milder. Plus, there's a lower chance you'll get really ill. Take control of your health. Book your flu shot today. Talk to your doctor if you have any questions.
ProHealth's free drive-through flu clinic is this Saturday from 10 a.m. to noon at 3 Farm Glen Boulevard in Farmington. Free flu shots for ages 18 and older while supplies last. Visit ProHealth Physicians on Facebook to learn more.
Fan of WTIC? Then do us a favor. Download the free Odyssey app and favorite WTIC.
Did they notify any of the local officials? Did
Do
they
you guys
notify
never
the
went
local
up there?
police?
I go there, and
Did
you know what they
Did
told
they
me?
notify the local police?
You know what they told me?
Did they
that you
notify
haven't
the
been up to the
mayor?
car wash.
I've been
Mayor
to the
Twister
car wash.
hasn't.
I've been
I was
to the
just
car.
there 2 days
I was
ago.
just with the owner last
The
week.
interesting part about this John Larson thing, right? So he went down to the car wash, he says. He said he went down there to go see the owner. John Larson is running for re-election. You see anything in the papers? You see anything in the news about John Larson going down there? What, did he go privately? Quietly? For what? He's running for re-election. This was happening under the radar? What, did he sneak on by quietly when no one was looking? And now he's talking about it publicly? No press release? Anybody find it? The one I got as far as a press release as it relates to John Larson was the one that we got yesterday. That was the one that I gave to Mark that got Mark down there to go meet with him because Mark had to catch him outside because they weren't allowed to talk about anything else. If you go to Mark's X page, he plays most of it where he says to the woman who keeps trying to cut him off, he's saying, listen, I'm asking him this question out here because you guys only want to talk about the shutdown inside. Are you saying that I can go in and and address these questions? And they're like, well, that's going to be up to them. No, of course not. Now, again, kudos for Mark. He had to ambush him. And there's a reason why. You have to recognize this. The reason why Mark's got to do what he's got to do is because no one else is. And no one else will. They will not get Larson on the record. And what you may think while you're looking at that, just going, well, the guy wouldn't answer any questions. No. It's not about whether or not he's answering any questions. It isn't even about him being argumentative. It's about what he says when he is. And he reveals himself. He says he's going someplace he knows he didn't go. He talked about things clearly he knew nothing about. ICE agents are being targeted? Yes! What are you talking about? It is the story. It's covering everything. I mean, what is he watching? Netflix? This is the guy who's supposed to be representing you, who isn't abreast of the issues? And to be honest, look, that doesn't mean I'm rooting for Bronin here. But I would suspect Bronin would have an answer. But that's probably why that guy will go into hiding as well. He'd never answer these questions. I called Larson's folks. Mark got me a telephone number to call these guys. And the first thing I said to the guy I gave the card to, I said, I understand you guys chuckled when you heard my name. And of course, he punked up. Oh, no, I would never chuckle. I don't mind that these folks are apprehensive. I don't want to use afraid. But that's why Mark's got to do what he's got to do. And I'm going to do more of these. I just got to make it. I need Mark to blow up because this is great stuff. And a lot of these guys are missing it. I had a conversation with my guy, Mark Fitch, over at Connecticut Inside Investigator, which for some odd reason, he doesn't know that I big up that platform all the time. I told him yesterday, he was like, really, you do? I'm like, yes, all the time. So you the guys actually doing news over here. But I was talking to Mark Fitch yesterday. He's got a story coming out on Monday, ironically, about the bozo who called me a Sambu. He's got an article on Monday about that. We'll talk about that as well in a minute. Because we got a guest today, Dr. Glenn Lungarini is the executive director of the CIAC, the Connecticut Interscholastic Athletic Conference. We'll have him at 4:05. But Mark Fitch is doing a story about that. And I said to Mark Fitch, I'm like, this story, that story. He says the same thing I do. He says, man, this place is rich with material. I can't believe it's being ignored. It's like they're not even trying. I was on WFSB the other day, and they were promoting a story out of North Carolina. I'm like, what? Our local news, with all due respect, when you know that your local news, again, plenty of stories, when they're covering car accidents like a bunch of beat cops, it's dead around here as far as journalism is concerned. And they're wondering why they're hemorrhaging. It baffles me. It baffles the mind. Let me take the phones real quick because I want to get into this Bridgeport story about teens confronting gun violence. And I knew it was going to be quite the yarn. So I'll talk about that in a second. Let's go to Bill. Hello, Bill.
Hi, Reese. How you doing today?
I am pretty good, sir. What's up?
I want to thank Mark for his attempting to get answers out of Congressman Larson on the issue in Newington. I'm dismayed that my congressman is seemingly uninformed about many issues. And
do you think he's Bill?
When the conversation went off the rails, it's my belief that Congressman Larson was just trying to was trying deflecting, wanting to talk about other issues that had nothing to do with what Mark was asking.
I don't think, Bill, I will say this. What I think was happening there was John Larson was not prepared to have to answer it because no one had. His story, that screaming and hollering about the SS was making national news. And the fact that
I remember.
And what Mark is asking him is, aren't you rethinking that after they're getting killed? And then to play, they're being assaulted, like he doesn't even recognize that his rhetoric could very well be part of the package that is responsible for putting ICE agents in jeopardy. And then to play like they're in danger? It was just absolutely baffling. Bill, let me go on. I appreciate you, buddy. Let's go to Brian in Tallinn. Hello, Brian. How are you?
Hey, Reese. I'm doing great. Wanted to pass along something. I found out last week that there was a new change to federal regulations that took effect August 1st of last year.
Okay.
And it deals with education. I think I'm in my car. I don't have the reference. I think it's 34 CFR section 361.
Okay.
Don't hold me to that. It defines unacceptable sexual discrimination in education as being not allowing students to participate in activities in accordance with their gender identity.
And that is a Connecticut rule that was started last year.
No, the Connecticut's had that rule for a long time. This is a federal regulation, published change to the federal regulation that took effect last year.
Okay. But wouldn't that be null and void now with the new administration?
No, they can't just erase regulations. They could go through the rulemaking process to change the regulation, but as far as I can tell, they have not started that.
Okay, that seems almost incredibly odd. And Linda McMahon has not addressed it anywhere yet.
I searched the federal regulation to see if there was any notice of proposed rulemaking to change that section of the regulation. I could not find anything.
Here's what I'm going to ask you to do, Brian. How long are you going to be in the car?
Just a few more minutes.
Okay.
One other thing I did want to mention on this is
Yeah.
I contacted my congressional representative and my two senators.
Who are they?
To bring it. The congressional representative is Joe Courtney.
Okay.
The senators are Dick Blumenthal and your favorite, Chris Murphy. This was about a week ago that I contacted them. I did get an automated response from Joe Courtney that said he'll need to take some time to investigate and review the situation before he can answer.
Okay.
Chris Murphy also sent an automated reply that said his staff puts together a digest every week of all the communications they have from constituents.
Right.
And they'll take action based on that. But he pointed me to his issues page, and his issues page proudly claims that he supports the right of transgender people to participate in sports. So I think I know what his position on.
Yeah, I think he's made that clear.
I did not get any response at all from Dick Blumenthal.
And you won't. Here's what I want you to do, Brian, if you could. When you finally get to your destination and you get an opportunity, get the exact statute so that I can look it up, and then I can sort of counter whatever that is and see if the Trump administration has addressed it in anything. Can you do that for me?
I can. Actually, I just got to my destination, and I have looked it up.
Oh, okay. You got it.
It is 30. Yep. It's 34, Chapter 34, Code of Federal Regulations, Section 106.31.
106.31?
Yes.
Okay.
And the opening paragraph says that sexual discrimination is not allowed unless it has only de minimis harm, and it then says not allowing students to participate in accordance with their gender identity is more than de minimis harm. So it's quite explicit.
Okay. Well, we're going to look it up, and then I will be able to see if there is any countermeasures by this administration against that, or if it's just sitting there. Because you know how it is. There's a regulation that'll sit there alone by itself, and no one recognizes it until it's brought to their attention. But I will look into it.
That's true. Okay.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Brian. I appreciate you, sir. Sorry.
You're welcome. And if as the president of the Chris Murphy fan club, you have some special in to get a response from him, I'd love to hear his response.
I have an in. I just haven't used it yet, but I will be using it when I have some physical ability to. But I'll let you know about that in due course.
Okay. Great.
Thanks, Brian. I appreciate you, man.
No problem.
Let's take a break. We'll be back. More news, more views, and I'll get into this story real quick. We may have to wait a little bit, but it's called Enough. Teens across Connecticut to read plays confronting gun violence written by their peers. But one particular subject matter is absent, and it sounds weird since it's happening in Bridgeport. We'll return. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Brian Jackman here for QC Kinetics. Listen, if you're dealing with joint pain, whether it's arthritis or injury, and you're sick of it and you're not doing
What's
anything
going on,
about
Russ?
it, well, you might want to just pick up the phone because QC Kinetics might be the answer for
And
you.
me too, Matt.
You can get long-lasting relief without drugs, without surgery. They use regenerative medicine that basically revitalizes your joints using growth factors from your own body. That's right, whether it's back, knees, hips, shoulders, whatever it is, they can get you lasting relief. And get this, when you follow up with them, that consultation is totally free. So you go in there, learn if it's right for you, bring your MRIs, bring your x-rays, and at the end of that, you've learned something about yourself, and you might find out that QC Kinetics is the solution you've been looking for. Give them a call right now, 860-440-PAIN. Again, it's 860-440-PAIN. They have locations most likely near you, Avon, New Haven, and Glastonbury. And like I said, that first consultation, totally free, risk-free. QC Kinetics, 860-440-PAIN.
Do you hear that? Asthma triggers are everywhere, from dust mites, pet dander, and pollen, to smog and smoke. An asthma attack can strike anywhere, anytime. Be prepared with quick-acting Primatene Mist. Clinically proven to open airways quickly. It's the #1 FDA-approved asthma inhaler available over the counter. Primatene Mist. Breathe easy again. Use as directed.
What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud Phone System. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very
calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install a Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
It's Reese on the Radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Yeah, we are back. Yeah, Matty O, I'm with you, man. I'm not a big fan of Fridays. That's because I'm going to miss you guys. But, it's got to happen. Roland's got to, go bowl or do whatever it is he does on the weekend that clearly I don't do. You bowling this weekend? I'm sure you are.
Of course.
Of course. Are you doing any tournaments or just for the fun of it?
I don't do fun bowling.
You don't do fun bowling? Like you've... That doesn't make any sense. You don't do just family fun bowling with your daughter and your wife? Not at all?
Nah, never.
Can you imagine? Can I make an assumption here? It's sort of like why you might not do it. Do you think that you would be extremely competitive if you had to play against your family? Like you would make it you would make it unfun?
No, it's just not fun.
It isn't really.
If they wanted to. Well, first of all, they hate bowling, so they don't like to go.
I can imagine why.
But if they did, I wouldn't. I'd just watch.
So you wouldn't play. You would just watch.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't get a season-ending injury like they do.
No, it's just when you're competing every weekend at a high level, if you're not practicing, then
you're not.
Then you just.
It's a waste.
Yeah, you're really not interested in.
Do you? I know you said you had a regimen, like a health regimen. Do you have to do certain exercises? I don't know if I remember I asked you about that, but I may have forgotten. Like, do you have to go through a particular body training or something like that, or physical training?
Well, a lot of people don't, but the ones that are really good, they all work out. They work out more than they practice. If you listen to the guys on a pro tour,
yeah,
a lot of the great ones, they'll tell you they work out more. They work out 5 times a week, and they may practice twice a week.
Huh. So no family fun for you.
I mean, it's family fun, but we don't have to do that.
No, I mean family fun in the bowling. Like, I almost feel like you're the kind of guy who walks past the regular bowling alley and sneers. Like, look at them.
They don't even know what they're doing. Nah, I don't even care about stuff like that. I go. You know what? What's crazy? Even from someone that's not really good, you can still learn something from them. So
really?
I watch people how they bowl, when their ball strikes, what it does, and it doesn't matter if they're a 120 average or a 230 average. You can learn something from them all. So,
I guess that would be the case. That you sort of can see common mistakes to make sure that you don't do it.
Yeah, mistakes, and you can see some good things because they still can bowl. Just because they're a 120 average doesn't mean that they can't bowl strikes and bowl good strikes. It just means that they're not consistent to string them together. I
was asked, in fact, every time I've ever been in a bowling alley, I've had people approach me and say, you should join a league. And my response to them is, I'm garbage. What are you talking about? But they say the reason why is because it's a great community outreach, so to speak. Like you get, being in a bowling league is a great sort of, get-together kind of thing.
Oh, it's definitely, that's where you have your fun. You asked me about the fun. You have your fun in league.
In league, okay.
Because depending on the type of league you're in, they have people like my Thursday night league, which was last night.
Yeah.
This is my second year in an all men's league. I've never been in an all men's league before. So they do a lot of fun little games. I don't drink, but they do like some drinking games.
Sure.
Different things like that.
Yeah, so. I get it. Like, it seems cool. And look, I don't even mind the matching outfits. But
yeah, we have matching shirts.
Matching shirts. Yeah, I don't even mind that. I think it's cool. I think that's kind of fun. But, I don't know if I can dedicate that kind of system, like going out every, that particular day. Like you got a Thursday night thing. I can't dedicate that. I like some free flowing stuff. Mary says that I have video of you bowling. I know you do. That's my ex-wife. She has video of it. You have a lot of videos of me. And I mean that in a respectful way, folks. That's not what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you're going to get in league, though, so be prepared.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe.
I ain't no, I don't know.
It's happening. That sounds like a threat.
It's happening.
So I am going to join the league. Yeah, Roseanne will make me get out of the house and make friends. Make friends, Reese. Make friends. That's what I'll go through. I don't know. I want to see what video you're talking about there, Mary. I wonder which particular bowling night. I used to love doing it. I just don't, I kind of love doing it. It just seemed like
gotta get you some $200 shoes, a $200 bag, 3 $200 balls that'll run you about $1,000.
Goodness gracious.
You'll be ready to go.
That seems like a lot of money. It seems like a lot of money. I don't know. Maybe we'll see when we get up there. Connecticut seems like the place where I would actually be a part of a bowling league.
Yep.
Anyway, all right, we got to get to the top of the hour news with John Silva. I hope not to exhaust him today. I want to ask him about that. We'll be back. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC is celebrating 100 years on the air and 100 years of serving Connecticut. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
It's 3 o'clock. Good afternoon. We have sunny skies and 72 degrees. We'll keep it in the low 70s today. The sunshine is going to stick around for the next several days, and you'll find the temperature is going to head up to the low 80s before we look at some rain coming in, but that's not until the middle, towards the middle of next week. Forecast details from the WTIC Weather Center coming up. It is day 3 of the partial government shutdown. Democrats making health care their top priority in the standoff, pushing to expand subsidies for millions under the Affordable Care Act. Republicans, meantime, want only a short-term bill to keep agencies open. Senate Majority Leader Hakeem Jeffries.
Democrats will continue to stand on the side of the American people, fight for their health care, and improve their quality of life.
Republicans want to take up health care at a later time. Senators are back at the Capitol today to take another vote. The Yankee Institute is calling out what it calls overtime spiking among Connecticut state troopers. Study says state police OT runs about $60 million a year, with troopers earning much of that toward the end of their careers. As a result of working that overtime, troopers are padding their pensions, according to Yankee Institute President Carol Platt-Lebo.
state pensions are based on the highest 3 years of salary, including overtime. And that's what creates these incentives to spike working hours before retirement.
Pension rules prevent overtime spiking for those hired after 2017. Platt Lebo says those rules should extend to cover all troopers. Governor's office says changes to how pensions are calculated are subject to union negotiations. The Waterbury woman accused of holding her stepson captive for over 2 decades is in court this afternoon. Victim says he was pulled out of school at the age of 11, held in a room in the family home, never left. Kimberly Sullivan faces charges including first-degree assault, second-degree kidnapping, and unlawful restraint. The alleged victim, remember, sent fire to the family home last February in a desperate attempt to escape. The prosecution's filed a motion that would prevent Sullivan's defense team from disclosing the victim's name and address to Sullivan. She's currently free on bond. Defense wants the judge to order the removal of her GPS monitor and also wants Sullivan to be allowed to return home to retrieve belongings. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says the military has struck another small boat in the Caribbean believed to be carrying drugs to the U.S. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt called the action entirely justified.
The president has been very clear, dating back to the campaign trail, that he is always going to do what's in the best interest of the American homeland. And he also promised the American people he was going to end the drug epidemic that has taken far too many American lives. And you're seeing those actions play out almost every single day.
This latest military strike left 4 dead on top of the 17 killed in 3 previous attacks. Sean Diddy Combs facing sentencing today on in that criminal case that could potentially keep him behind bars for years. Combs was convicted back in July of flying people around the country, including his girlfriends and male sex workers, to engage in encounters, a violation of the Federal Mann Act. A jury did acquit Combs of more serious racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking charges. The abnormally dry weather around here has Connecticut Water asking residents in several towns to voluntarily conserve. Those municipalities include Clinton, Madison, Guilford, Old Saybrook, Westbrook, and Plymouth. At the same time, in Bristol, the mayor there says they're asking residents to voluntarily adopt an odd-even system for watering. Says Mayor Jeff Caggiano.
This is 100% voluntary. We don't need to go into major measures and call people in and things of that sort. We just want you to ease your water use.
Now, he says reservoirs are currently at a 70% level. WTIC News Time is 3:04, and from the WTIC 24-hour traffic network on this Getaway Friday, we've got a crash down in Madison. This is 95 northbound between exits 59 and 61. Left lane taken out there, crash involving a motorcycle. Road work will be wrapping up soon in many areas in Vernon. 84 west between 66 and 64. They'll be out there till about 3:30 in the left shoulder. 91 southbound down in North Haven between 10 and 9. Right lane out there till about 3:30. Cromwell 91 north between 22 and 23. Left lane closed until about 3:30.
Wow.
Still some road work in Manchester on 291 eastbound side between exit 5 and the end of the 291 eastbound ramp there. Crews still in the shoulder. And we've got delays building eastbound side of 84 in the Hartford area. Friday traffic beginning already, extending from exit 40 all the way out to exit 51. Good 5 miles of slow-moving traffic on 84 east. Let's check the WTIC Weather Center forecast.
High pressure over the area will provide abundant sunshine for the remainder of this afternoon, followed by clear skies this evening. High temperatures not far from 75. For tonight, expect clear skies with a low of 45. High pressure moves a little bit offshore during the day tomorrow. It will continue to provide plenty of sunshine, and it will be quite warm with a high of 83. The record is 86, last reached in 2023. The weather will be great for viewing fall foliage. As we head into tomorrow night, look for partly cloudy skies with a low of 54. High pressure offshore will provide a warm southwest flow on Sunday, along with plenty of sunshine and high temperatures reaching 83. On Monday, mostly sunny skies, continued warm for this time of year, high temperature 80. On Tuesday, a front starts to move in from the west, so there'll be a few more clouds, partial sunshine, but still warm with a high of 80, showers Tuesday night. This is meteorologist Bob Smurbeck in the WTIC Weather Center.
All right, we currently have 72. It's sunny in Hartford and a mixed bag on Wall Street so far. The Dow's up 317. NASDAQ, though, down 57. S&P up 8 points. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40,
Roland,
I just don't get the results I used to get.
Audio I just sent you and see if that's the short
I
version.
went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, there's less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text SAVVY to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text SAVVY to 42424. That's SAVVY to 42424.
Financial Group is not a law firm.
Got it.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group. And I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call, and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare, or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090.
Yeah, we good. Thank you.
Reese on the radio, making sense of the news. Yeah, even when it makes no sense at all. Now on WTIC, News Talk 1080.
Also, in an hour, we're going to be talking to Dr. Glenn Lungarini, and it takes me a hard time saying his name. Dr. Glenn Lungarini, who is the executive director at the Connecticut Interscholastic Athletic Conference, and he will talk to us about this whole Chris Baker of the NFL, formerly of the NFL, and that debacle that's going on over at the Windsor High School. Yesterday, I was having a conversation with somebody who is very closely involved with this, and they said some things that I'm going to disclose, but I'm going to keep their reputation intact. I'm going to not reveal who they are, but let's just say this individual, I reached out to them, and they responded, and they pretty much gave me some details behind that story. Also, this may be kind of breaking news. You may have heard that Chris Baker was to have a press conference this evening about what's going on at Windsor. I learned yesterday that has now been canceled. I think it has very much to do with the developments that I've been reporting on as of late, especially as it relates to the young man who called me a Sambu. When you can't get the racial slurs right. Sambu, not Sambo. It relates to him, and I will talk a little bit about that with Dr. Glenn Lungarini, because all of this stuff has led a trail down to the most insane story that you've ever heard. And we'll break that down with him, and I'll tell you some other details about that. So stay tuned at about 4:05 when we talk to Dr. Glenn. So the Connecticut Mirror had a story that said, enough, teens across Connecticut to read plays confronting gun violence written by their peers. So they got a bunch of young kids to write about gun violence in their community. And these kids that are featured in this article are out of Bridgeport. But in reading the article, I just wanted to say, okay, I don't know how this is going to address gun violence or how this is going to help these kids, but okay, let's just take it for what it is, right? Let's just read into it. So it says, teens from around Connecticut are speaking out against gun violence by performing a series of 6 short plays written by their peers. The performances, which happened in Bridgeport on October 6th, and in Middletown on October 11th, are part of a nationwide reading of Enough, as part of the movement of young people using theater to demand change. There are more than 70 organizations participating, including the 2 Connecticut shows. The project refers to the widespread sentiment that enough is enough when it comes to gun violence. Gun violence, in fact, impacts communities all across the United States, said Stacy Meyer, the director of Advocacy, Policy, and Outreach at the Connecticut Against Gun Violence of New Fairfield. The group is hosting the Bridgeport performance. Quote, there's no community in the state that hasn't been touched by it. The youth, they see that. They feel it. This is an opportunity to have them have their voices heard when they don't always feel they have that chance. And Hang Time of Bridgeport, as well as Odd Fellows Youth Playhouse and Art Farm in Middletown, are behind Connecticut's efforts. The authors of the winning selections range from 13 to 19 and are from Georgia, Wisconsin, Florida, Mississippi, Texas, and California. The plays are chosen from hundreds of submissions and tackle topics including school shootings, suicide, and domestic violence. Michael Cody founded Enough in 2019 to promote playwriting as a tool for self-expression and social change, and tapping into the younger generation's spirit of activism, as well as developing their individual voices. Each community can personalize the experience and make them relevant to their audiences, he says. The writings confront gun violence through many lenses, including intimate partner violence, systemic racism, and the grief borne by survivors and families. Now, as I'm reading this, I keep saying, isn't something else missing? If you are listening to that, are you noticing some particular gun violence that is absent from this? Look, I understand the school shooting thing. That's a thing. I understand Sandy Hook will always resonate. It will be in our bloodstreams. Okay, as nutmeggers. Get it. Isn't there another topic that we can talk about that is missing or omitted from this dialogue? Anybody? There are no overwhelming statistics that say that there is gun violence related to systemic racism. There is gun violence in Black and brown communities due to gang and drug culture, and the kids in Bridgeport experience that daily. Why is it not on the list? I noticed something in it, and I don't really remember if I told you this, but I don't have a choice but to say it now. And it was something that I saw that really made me mad. And I rarely do when I see something on television. But in 2012, after Sandy Hook, President Obama held a press conference talking about what we need to do to protect our children. And during this press conference, I don't know where it was, and forgive me for not remembering, but you might. But while he gave this press conference, he had a group of young people, very young, roughly about the age of those who lost their lives in Sandy Hook, behind him. I believe there were about 2 young girls and 2 young boys. Forgive me, I don't mean to bring race in it, but it's important. There was 1 white boy, 2 white girls, 1 young black boy. Now, for a president who always made things about race, Trayvon could have been my son. He never allowed the young black boy to step up and speak. The other children were allowed. Again, this is Obama, who uses race as a cudgel. You know he does. Always has. But did not allow the young black boy to speak, which I found odd. He took a picture with the young man, shook his hand, but he was sitting there. Every kid there had a statement prepared to read, but the young black kid did not. Thought it was odd. And that was always the case, that the conversation was always about school shootings. That always made me mad. I get that sometimes the school shooting stuff is an issue that has to be addressed because we're asking ourselves what's going on with our young people. It's a valid question, especially in the schools. And if it's happening in the suburbs, clearly what everybody believes is a charmed life, and there are kids who are despondent, who are grabbing guns and shooting up the school because of things like being bullied or not fitting in, that's a problem. But per capita, the rate of kids who are dying are in the inner city. We know that is a fact. My question is why don't they care? And these people who are supposed to be addressing gun violence won't even talk about it. They set the criteria for you to write plays about it, and it ain't about the kids being murdered in Bridgeport or Hartford or New Haven. Not even discussed. Nowhere. After the events of September 11th, we got a phone call from a girl up in Harlem who I absolutely berated on the air because she wasn't focused. Why are the police down at ground zero? I said, because the terrorists don't want to blow up the Apollo, okay? Have a good day. Now, I know it was mean. I know it was dismissive. But she clearly wasn't meeting the moment. As my host once said, Star, that's his name, as he said, America got its 2 front teeth knocked out on September 11th. And to be honest with you, I didn't want to hear any nonsense about whether or not the police were guarding the Adam Clayton Powell building. Nobody cares about that building. It's never had a terrorist threat ever. The only thing it's ever had a threat of is not making its rent. But the interesting part is that while everyone is talking about Marjorie Stoneman, Columbine, Sandy Hook, whatever the case may be, whatever school shooting, what was it, Virginia Tech? Whenever they're talking about that, everyone, as far as the national media is concerned, pays no attention to the inner city violence. It's barely an issue. In fact, if you were to gauge the importance or the relevance, even on places like Fox News, it doesn't even measure. They don't care. Everybody says they want to address gun violence, but they don't care about where it is killing the most people. And a part of this is, of course, the civil rights organizations, these corny, fake, phony, radicals on the left. They don't care about it. I'm sorry, Antifa doesn't care about it. None of these organizations like Indivisible are talking about it. Soros has got billions of dollars. I've never seen it go towards that cause to keep those kids safe, ever. These folks, the Ford Foundation, any of them, the Koch brothers, They give more money to these organizations that rabble-rouse, but they do nothing about these black kids getting killed. Nothing. They don't even care. But that's not even the worst part. The worst part is that the people who are dodging the bullets in those communities say nothing either. The folks whose kids are getting killed say nothing. Even at the funeral, they just scream, why? And they're not even like energized to start organizations. They start fundraising campaigns and crowdsourcing for funerals. And then it's over, and they put the kid's picture on a T-shirt and call it a day. And people like this get prominent. I mean, we're talking about a lot of words dedicated to things that happened in 2012. Again, it's not to dismiss Sandy Hook. But come on, let's be real, folks. We can't go back. Do you understand that? We can't. We have to move forward. And in moving forward, they're trying to prevent something that they believe is taking the lives of our young people. And they won't even talk about the young people who are more at risk. What domestic violence are these kids going to talk about? What systemic racism are they going to talk about when it comes to gun violence? The only systemic racism that these kids are going to have to deal with as they get older is going to be their right to bear arms and protect themselves from the lunatics with illegal ones. That's the only systemic racism they're going to deal with. And I bet you if one of those kids were to write a piece or a play about that, it would never see the light of day. I don't understand. I know some of you care. Don't get me wrong. I know everybody says, well, what about the violence in those inner cities? But truth be told, it's more than just saying, what about? Is that no one is bothering to ask the question, hey, man, you guys have a lot of pull. You guys drop a press conference and the media comes a-running. Why won't you talk about this? If it's about the babies, why is it not about the babies? Why are you never talking about that? There was more ink on a story about a girl sent home about her hair color at a supermarket that was put on violence happening in any one of these inner cities in the state. Any of them. It's literally drive-by stuff. And yes, I meant the pun. It's filler. Another person was shot yesterday. Police have no suspects. A woman and her 2 children were shot yesterday. We have no suspects. And then it just moves on. Another drive-by shooting in Hartford. There are no suspects. And now the weather. No offense, but that's all I'm asking. It's like, what are we going to do? You know, I talk about these stories every day when they come up. And it's okay in some cases to be the only person covering the news, but I got to call out you people out there, and you know who you are. You leftists, you people who seem to care about those who cannot defend themselves. You care about the black and brown. You care about the illegals. You talk about parents getting separated from their children, John Larson. What about parents who inevitably get separated from their children because their kids are dead, or the other way around? Kids who lose their parents due to gun violence, who are left orphaned. Don't those kids matter? Or maybe they just don't meet the mark. Maybe you can't fundraise off that. I don't know, but something's got to be done. But this, no offense, this thing, no, every offense. This is a joke. You got these kids writing plays. These kids are writing plays about stuff that doesn't affect them. And you think this is helping? This is rubbish. This is garbage. This is stupid. It's another waste of ink. Get on it. You guys can do better than this. Or I would just prefer you just come out and say you don't give a damn about those lives. Because I know, truthfully, I know that you don't. I know none of you give a damn about those babies. Not one about those black babies. You don't care about them in the womb. You don't care about them in the streets. You don't care. For them, you just pick and choose when you wish to use them as your political or social pawn whenever they're available to you. The worst part off is a lot of you garbage individuals, and I mean real garbage individuals, you will lap up that support in a heartbeat because you folks, you want to talk about Samboos. Boy, are you some folks some Samboos. We got to take a break. We'll be back. More news, more views. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Join us this Sunday for Tumalo Financial, your go-to for retirement planning and taxes. Tune in to the father-son duo from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. or catch replay from 5 to 6 p.m. Tumalo Financial, retirement planning with integrity on WTIC News Talk 1080.
There's a lot happening in Washington and in your local neighborhood. Follow WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey app to keep up with the latest.
Wisdom teeth giving you trouble? Columbia Dental's expert oral surgeons specialize in comfortable and efficient wisdom tooth removal. Open 7 days a week. Call 860-645-0111 or visit columbiadental.com.
I'm Kristen Press. And I'm Tobin Heath. We're World Cup winners, Olympians, and the hosts of The Recap Show.
Every week, we sit down with the icons, disruptors, and game changers on the field and beyond it to talk victories, heartbreaks, and everything in between.
We've built a space where athletes, change makers, and people creating the future of women's sports can show up and show off as their full, unapologetic selves.
Follow and listen to The Recap Show wherever you get your podcasts.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Cunahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
And now, a WTIC news update.
3:30, Hartford temperature 72 degrees, partly sunny skies. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. A Waterbury woman accused of keeping her stepson locked up for more than 2 decades in the family home was back in court for a hearing today. The judge ruled that Kimberly Sullivan is allowed to return to that Blake Street home to collect personal belongings. On another front, a request to have her GPS monitoring bracelet removed was continued. The now 32-year-old alleged victim set fire to the family home last February in an attempt to escape. Authorities say he weighed 68 pounds at the time. Some water issues in parts of our state. Connecticut Water is asking residents of several towns to voluntarily conserve. Customers in Madison, Clinton, Guilford, Old Saybrook, Westbrook, and Plymouth being asked to conserve for the time being in this abnormally dry weather we've been experiencing. Over in Bristol, the mayor there, Jeff Caggiano, had a similar message for city residents. They're asking residents to go on an odd-even system voluntarily when it comes to watering, saying the reservoirs are still at about 70% of capacity. A group of Connecticut National Guard soldiers shipping out 1st Battalion, 102nd Infantry. They're headed for a year-long deployment to the Middle East. They'll train in Texas before heading overseas. Connecticut's all-Democratic congressional delegation met at Access Health CT in Hartford today, explain how they see healthcare costs rising for residents if Obamacare subsidies aren't continued in the next federal spending plan, and hopes for a quick end to that shutdown appear to be fading. Republicans and Democrats digging in for a prolonged fight. Senators are back at the Capitol today for another vote on government funding. WTIC News Time is 3:32. Here's the forecast.
High pressure will provide plenty of sunshine through the later part of the afternoon. It will be nice and warm with a high of 75. Tonight, look for clear skies and a low temperature of 45. Lots of sunshine again tomorrow and quite warm. High temperature of 83 degrees. Great weather for viewing fall foliage. The record is 86, set back in 2023. As we head into Sunday, sunshine and warm with a high of 83. This is meteorologist Bob Smerbeck in the WTIC Weather Center.
All right, from the WTIC 24-hour traffic network, as we get ready to roll home for the weekend, several incidents out here to let you know about. In East Hartford, got a two-vehicle crash westbound side of 84 between exits 59 and 58 with a left lane blocked. Multi-vehicle crash reported in Windsor, 91 south between exits 37 and 36. That is blocking the left lane. Waterbury just reported crash on 84 west. Multi-vehicle crash between exits 22 and 21. Center lane blocked with that. And finally in Shelton, Route 8, northbound side, backups between exits 7 and 11, all due to a two-vehicle crash in the right lane. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
If you want thick, healthy, gorgeous hair, then you need Hair Volume by New Nordic. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com or in the hair aisle at your local CVS.
Attention taxpayers, if you owe $5,000 or more and have missed another tax deadline, you're officially on the IRS's radar. The IRS has resumed aggressive collections. That means wage garnishments, bank levies, even seizures of your home, car, or retirement accounts. If you owe $5,000 or more and missed the deadline, you're stacking new debt on top of what you already owe. Call Priority Tax Relief now. Their experts fight back fast and are saving their clients millions in tax debt every month.
I owed over $50,000. And they settled it for pennies on the dollar. These guys are as legit as they come.
After speaking on my behalf with the IRS, my entire debt of $25,000 will be eliminated.
Whether you've received collection letters or you're already facing liens and garnishments, call for your free consultation. There are no upfront fees. Priority Tax Relief. Let's make your taxes our priority. Call 800-406-1584. 800-406-1584. 800-406-1584.
Priority Tax Relief. Hi, this is Joel Johnson with Johnson Brunetti. Do not make mistakes when it comes to Social Security decisions. Get our free guide, Social Security Decisions. Call or text the word security to request your copy. 1-800-705-1232. Call or text the word security to 1-800-705-1232 to get your free guide. 1-800-705-1232.
Investment advisory services offered through JB Capital, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Insurance products offered through JN Financial, LLC.
Peter L. Brown Roofing is celebrating 65 years of trusted service in Connecticut, and to thank the community, they're giving away a brand new roof valued up to $12,500. Enter for your chance to win an Atlas Pinnacle roofing system with Scotchguard protector from 3M, designed for durability and beauty. Visit odyssey.com/WTICAM to enter today. See website for contest rules. Peter L. Brown Roofing, siding, windows, and doors.
Peter L. Brown, we do it right the first time.
Do you hear that? Asthma triggers are everywhere, from dust mites, pet dander, and pollen, to smog and smoke. An asthma attack can strike anywhere, anytime. Be prepared with quick-acting Primatene Mist. Clinically proven to open airways quickly. It's the #1 FDA-approved asthma inhaler available over the counter. Primatene Mist. Breathe easy again. Use as directed.
Ooh, ma. What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud Phone System. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very
calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees. Ooma. Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
Another summer over, and you may have noticed that your energy is lower. Your workouts aren't as productive. Perhaps you aren't sleeping as well and feel foggy all the time. Maybe even your sex drive is off. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health. And if you're experiencing some or all of these symptoms, it's likely you have low testosterone. And if that's what's going on with you, don't wait. You need to call us at Northeast Men's Health and get treated for your low T. Because living with low testosterone is no way to live. With our low T treatments, if you're like most guys, your life will change considerably. Improved sleep, better energy, greater gains in the gym, better mental clarity, and your sex drive will likely improve as well. Plus, most men see these results in just a few weeks. So call us. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes PSA and T-tests and a medical consult. And if you start treatment the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956. That's 800-930-5956. Or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the Northeast to serve you. Northeast Men's Health, a Promedic restorative health practice.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer. Ever wonder why Big Wireless wants you on an unlimited plan? They probably want you to cover the cost of those 20-somethings using all that data every month. But most people 50 and up like me only use 12 gigs or less. Don't get bamboozled by Big Wireless. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Our plans start at just $20, and we use the same towers as the big guys. Join the millions who choose something better, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/fax or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit information. 800-384-9393. That's 800-384-9393.
Happy birthday to us. Happy birthday to us. Happy 100th birthday, WTIC. Happy birthday to us.
We're back. It's Reese on the Radio. Let's get to some news. We opened the show talking about John Larson and the lies, saying that, he went down to the car wash, didn't meet with any of the illegals working at the car wash, but met with the car wash owner. Also saying that he knew nothing about the violence against ICE agents. Well, now he's saying something even more, and he's actually fundraising off of it. Representative Larson, he says that he is happy that he was put on what he calls the Homeland Security watch list. There is no such thing. He says that we must support the members of Congress who have the courage to stand up to Trump and his authoritarian regime. John is not backing down, and neither can we, according to an email that he sent out with several links that redirect to his campaign donation page. Larson was the only member of the Connecticut delegation who ended up on a list compiled earlier this month by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. It named Democrats and groups whom the agency characterized as having hateful and violent rhetoric, specifically in regards to immigration enforcement. Larson says that it is a badge of honor, but now he's calling it a watch list. It's not a watch list. They just pointed out that he's the one screaming and hollering that ICE agents are behaving like the Gestapo. 2 weeks after the Federal Committee on Vaccine Advisors approved a new recommendation for those who should get the COVID-19 shot, neither Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy nor his deputy have signed off on, leaving states unable to order updated shots for low-income children. That's according to 2 immunization program experts who spoke on the condition of anonymity to avoid reprisal from the administration. And all I can say is, kids, good on you. The shots aren't coming in, and you're no longer in danger. You're safe. That's the administration caring about you, clearly more than Black Lives Matter is. Senator Doug McCrory used his leadership roles of the legislature's Education and Budget Committees to to pressure state education department officials on several occasions to send millions of dollars to a Hartford nonprofit. At least $800,000 of those funds were then funneled to an organization run by his associate. Emails and text messages between the agency staff, which were obtained by the Connecticut Insider show. 3 years ago, McCrory secured $500,000 in an earmark in the state budget for the Legacy Foundation of Hartford to support children being bused to schools in the suburbs. Records show that nonprofit kept $200,000 and sent the remaining $300,000 to the Sheba Resource Center, a small nonprofit run by Sansere Cicero Hamlin, whose relationship with McCrory is under federal investigation, as well as the Blue Hills Civic Association, a separate nonprofit that has also directed a substantial amount of money to Cicero Hamlin. Federal investigators issued subpoenas this summer compelling the Department of Economic and Community Development to turn over all communications they've had with McCrory and Cicero Hamlin's companies and nonprofit, as well as all documents concerning any federal or non-professional relationship between the two. After Legacy received the $500,000 grant in fiscal 2023, McCrory, the next year, pressed the education department officials to boost that to $500,000 to $2 million a year, despite the earmark in the state budget remaining the same. Oh, they're so... Again, these folks, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, still not addressing the violence in the community. They sure are lining their pockets. Huh? This stuff, never the outrage by my libs. The libs who listen, not an ounce of outrage by this. You know why? Well, because they're black charlatans. Those are the kinds that they can accept. Oh, let the blacks do it. They've had so many years of oppression. Yeah. Now for the stupidest thing I read today.
Yes, you do. Stupid as can be. This could very well be the stupidest person on the face of the earth.
There's an article, an op-ed, to be specific, in The Day. It's written by Mike DeMauro. I sent him an email to see if I could get him on the program because I wanted to talk to him about it. And I made it clear I did not lie to him. I told him that his article was going to make the stupidest thing I read today. And the headline reads, "The USA is no longer worth rooting for." And the reason why I chose this article was because it was something that I was saying a couple of weeks back about the era of Trump and everyone blaming Trump for their own bad behavior. And DeMauro writes in this article about how outraged he was at the Ryder Cup and about fans who were shouting expletives at Rory McIlroy and other players and how rowdy and unruly it got. And in his article, he talks about this. He goes, there are so many instances in sports now that sustain Holden Caulfield's phonies, not at least of which are those I get to play for my country events with those hollow USA, USA chants. Right, USA, USA, wrap yourselves in a flag for a while. Then before you get to your car, resume divisiveness. Remember when we hated each other's team more than we hated each other? Example, crowd behavior at the Ryder Cup, he goes on. But here's the interesting part. While he's complaining about the behavior of the people at the Ryder Cup or behavior of our everyday Americans, he decides instead of doubling down on his own patriotism, he's decided to go in the opposite direction. He's decided to be more like the people he has issue with. In essence, he's joining the fray, and he's blaming others for it. That part I don't get. See, again, this is, and the reason why I wanted to talk to him, I wanted to ask him the simple question. Dude, what do you mean you don't want to root for the USA anymore because of other people's actions? Why would you blame them? If you are truly patriotic, you don't need anybody to influence you. You don't need the roar of the crowd. You don't need anyone to tell you what to do. You either believe what you believe or know what you know. If that is now changing because of what you saw at the Ryder Cup or what you see from fellow Americans, then you've never had, you don't have an ounce of integrity. You were so upset about it that now you've decided to behave badly. Maybe the truth is you always wanted to. That deep down inside, you want to be just as bad as those folks. Perhaps it's not disgust, it's envy. Maybe there's a little bit of petulant child. Well, they get to act all rude and disruptive. I want to do it too. And maybe that's the case. So, I wanted to ask him that. I was like, what's your beef? People are going to be unruly. Yes, people at sporting events where there's alcohol served. Fights have been happening inside the stands all the time. Hell, Philadelphia got so rowdy. You remember what they did to Santa Claus? They pelted Santa with snowballs. They, with a lot of other things too, but that's what they did. I think it was the Link. Wasn't it the Link? One of the first NFL stadiums to have a jail and a judge inside them? Like, what are you talking about? Did you just wake up from a coma for the last 50 years? This is par for the course. And while that's happening at the Ryder Cup, there are other places where true patriotism exists. But here's what I think the truth is about tomorrow. What I think it is that he would never be caught dead in the places where that's happening. Like Trump rallies, like church, like religious gatherings, where people are wishing peace upon their neighbors, getting to know people, spreading the good word. He wouldn't be caught dead there. So now, because of the Ryder Cup and how rude we were to a bunch of foreigners, I don't know. I just found that amazing. That just makes me laugh. I don't know why, but it just makes me laugh that anybody. It's like, oh, so they got rude, and he's mad because there was a comedian there that was sort of egging everybody on. Who's the bozo here? If a bunch of guys drinking at the Ryder Cup were egged on by a comedian to behave badly, those folks are no worse than you. Because if you think about it, they were told to do something, they followed suit. You saw their behavior, you're following suit. You know better. And it's not about, and he thinks it's like, you can call it unpatriotic if you want. I'm not. I don't think that what he said was unpatriotic at all. I think what it was petulance. I thought it was whiny. I thought it was girly. That's what I think it was. You didn't like men behaving badly, and now you're crying about it. I don't think you have a patriotic bone in your body. I just think you don't like rudeness. You're so rude. If you want to read the whole article, it's in the Day. Again, Mike DeMauro wrote the article. It's funny. I thought it was funny, just in my view. We got to take a break. We'll come back. We got traffic and weather coming up as well, and John Silva's also coming up with the news at the top of the hour. And don't forget, the next hour, we've got Glenn, Dr. Glenn Lugarini, who's going to be coming in from he's the executive director of the Connecticut Interscholastic Athletic Conference. Stand by. We'll return. It's Reese on the Radio.
Picture this. You're eating good food, enjoying a cocktail with dinner, and losing weight. That's the power of Awaken 180, a weight loss program that teaches you how to eat for your body without giving up what you love. No medications, no gimmicks. With Awaken 180, you get personalized coaching, lifetime support, and results guaranteed in the first week. Finally, a program that makes sense and creates lasting change. To kickstart your transformation, visit awaken180weightloss.com or call 844-346-1800.
Hennion and Walsh was made for people like you. People who value speaking to the right people at the right time. That's why we answer the phone ourselves, to understand you and help you invest for the life you want, because you've earned it. We're Hennion and Walsh, and a human connection. Get a second opinion. Call 800-279-5279 or find us online. Investing involves risk, including the possible loss of principal. Advisory services provided by Henning & Walsh Asset Management. Securities offered by Henning & Walsh Inc. Member FINRA SIPC.
Some big news. Just before Charlie Kirk died, he issued a stark warning of terrifying dangers and threats ahead for those who stand for truth. Charlie wrote this in his last published work, the foreword for the new book, Pagan Threat. Authored by Pastor Lucas Miles, Charlie said that Pagan Threat could save America. Charlie said you must read, internalize, and share this book. It has the plan to stop the wokeism infecting America. Already a #1 Amazon bestseller, Pagan Threat is available wherever books are sold. Get Pagan Threat free with Newsmax's special offer and save $30. Go online now to paganthreat.com. That's paganthreat.com. Millions are tuning into Newsmax on all major cable systems. They're downloading our free Newsmax app on their smartphones. And they're getting Pagan Threat to see Charlie Kirk's final words. Go today to paganthreat.com. That's paganthreat.com.
Actual price will depend on product and plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
It's Reese on the Radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
I cannot believe it. I just heard Hamas has agreed to release all hostages after that Truth Social post at 8 o'clock this morning by Donald Trump telling them they needed to release them by 6 p.m. D.C. time on Sunday. And now the report has just come over the wire that they have agreed to release all hostages. This is, again, just breaking, so we'll find out exactly what's going on. And we'll get to that if there are any changes to that report or any details to that report. So there are, we know that there are some points to a 20-point peace plan for Hamas that was announced when Benjamin Netanyahu was in the White House. And Benjamin Netanyahu has agreed. We know Qatar agreed. Saudi Arabia has agreed. And there's some others. Muslim nations have all agreed. So, and like I said, if anything else comes about that, we will get to that. Also, later in the program, I have to talk about this Axios article. Keep fighting. Democrat lawmakers squeezed on government shutdown. Not that this is news to you. If you listen to this program, you know I was way ahead of this. They are not being governed by anyone but the radical left and the so-called grassroots organizations that have millions of dollars in their coffers from plenty of donors. And I'm going to read to you out of the Axios article what the Democrat Party is, in essence, being told. And you think about, when I read this to you, I want you to think about it from this perspective. While the mainstream news media is saying, well, what about all of those people who won't get their paychecks? Yeah, ask the Democrats about it. But aren't the Republicans, shouldn't they cave to some of their demands? No. They're the ones holding it up. We're not going to cave. We're not going to give them this $200 billion that they're asking for. It's just not going to happen. Just come along. We'll discuss that later. We'll hash it out like we always do. You know, elections have consequences. And not only that, you can bring it up during the midterms. Maybe it's a winning argument. You know, get us out of our seats. Yeah, you're fine. They don't want to do that. But if that were the case, that would be one thing. But it's not. The bottom line is they don't care. The progressive left, they don't care. Keeping the government closed, they believe, is a attack or at least a win against Donald Trump. And they've got to hold the line. So it isn't about party leadership. It isn't about their constituents. It's about the activist groups. And I said this weeks ago on this program, the Democrat Party is not the Democrat Party anymore. The radicals have taken it over. The maniacs are in control of the asylum. They can do nothing without their support or their direction. So Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, any of them, they don't exist. They don't have a mind of their own. They couldn't make a decision if they wanted to. Mamdani's party is in control now. That's it. And the Democrat Party has no soul. All it's got is fight and pushback. Doesn't care about the direction, doesn't care about the people they affect. Now, I want you to think that's anarchy. People are going to lose jobs. They know that. They don't care. Employees are going, federal employees are going to be gone. That's no more furloughs. Fired. Reduction of government. They don't care. Hold the line. Now, if you know that there's a group of people that are really that radical to affect the economy, cost jobs and all that stuff, they are willing to hold that line until it gets really bad. And what are those people saying? Hold on for health care for illegals. That's what, talk about holding hostage. The Democrats are not holding the rest of us hostage. The Democrats are the hostages here. And that's the truth. Let's get our first check of weather and traffic with Mark Christopher. He's in the BPS traffic center. I'm going to have me a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. It's about that time. Hey, Mark. Who will be here eventually.
Oh, I forgot it's
Oh no, it's Tom O'Hanlon. I forgot it is too. That's right. Tom O'Hanlon's in the BPS traffic center. Hello, Tom.
Give me 1 second.
All right, he's getting Tom O'Hanlon stuff real quick. He'll be here in a second. I think we almost got it.
I'm Tom
There he
O'Hanlon
is.
from the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. We have a crash on 84 on the westbound side. It's between exits 59 and 58. The left lane is closed. And also westbound on 84, slowing down through East Hartford from exit 57 to 47. Delays on 84 eastbound as you're working your way into the area right around exit 40 and tapping the brakes from there through exit 51. Route 2 is pretty busy up into 84. Route 3 is moving, so is Wilbur Cross. And a crash in Windsor on 91 on the southbound side. That is between exits 37 and 36, the left lane taken out there. And also looking at delays from exit 34 to 32 below that. 291 we're okay, 91 is fine both ways between Hartford and New Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8s. WTIC News Talk 1080.
This report is brought to you by Moderna.
Mnexspike, COVID-19 vaccine mRNA by Moderna, is now available and easy to find near you. To learn more, visit mnexspike.com. That's MNEXSPIKE.com.
WTIC weather.
High pressure will provide plenty of sunshine through the later part of the afternoon. It will be nice and warm with a high of 75. Tonight, look for clear skies and a low temperature of 45. Lots of sunshine again tomorrow and quite warm. High temperature of 83 degrees. Great weather for viewing fall foliage. The record is 86, set back in 2023. As we head into Sunday, sunshine and warm with a high of 83. This is meteorologist Bob Smerbeck in the WTIC Weather Center.
WTIC is celebrating 100 years on the air and 100 years of serving Connecticut. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
4 o'clock, Hartford temperature 73 degrees. Good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Hamas says it has accepted some elements of President Trump's peace plan, including the release of all remaining hostages, but others require further negotiation. President Trump had given Hamas until Sunday to accept the proposal put forth as part of a framework to end the war there. In a statement, the militant group said it was prepared to, quote, immediately engage in negotiations through mediators to discuss details of this matter, end quote. The move, if realized, would mark the most significant breakthrough in months of efforts in order to secure the release of the hostages who were taken nearly 2 years ago in October of 2023 in the assault on Israel. In the Senate today.
On this vote, the yeas are 54 and the nays are 44. 3/5 of the Senate duly chosen and sworn not having voted in the affirmative. The motion, upon reconsideration, is not agreed to.
And that means the partial shutdown of the federal government will last at least a couple of more days, with the stopgap funding bill having failed there in the Senate. Democratic Congressman John Larson in West Hartford providing an update to his constituents as some federal services continue as normal, including Social Security payments and health care coverage. He's responding to the Republican claim that Democrats caused the shutdown to pursue government health insurance for undocumented immigrants.
This is just another misdirection, another lie and deceit that's been given out there to scare and put fear in people that somehow this money, the reason for this is that money is going to pay for individuals that are here illegally.
Now, pushed on what Democrats should be doing to counter actions by President Trump, Larson emphasized the importance of next year's midterm elections. Larson himself is facing a primary challenge led by former Hartford Mayor Luke Bronin and State Representative Jillian Gilchrist. The Yankee Institute says Connecticut should take action to prevent what it calls overtime spending among state troopers. Institute President Carol Platt-Lebo says troopers are working more in their final years on the force, padding their pensions as a result.
An officer's pension is based on the highest 3 years of salary, including the overtime that officer works. That creates an incentive to go ahead and spike one's working hours, that is, to drive them as high as possible right before someone retires.
Now, the study finds that the top 13 overtime earners who recently retired earn an average of 170% of their base pay. Pension rules prevent OT spiking for those hired after 2017. Platt-Lebo says those rules should be extended to cover all troopers. The governor's office says changes to how pensions are calculated are subject to union negotiations. Most recent update from the Connecticut Drought Monitor puts the majority of the state in the abnormally dry category. Some portions of extreme shoreline in New Haven, Middlesex, and New London counties are in a moderate drought. At Connecticut Water, the agency is asking residents in the towns of Clinton, Madison, Guilford, Old Saybrook, Westbrook, and Plymouth to voluntarily conserve. In Bristol, Mayor Jeff Caggiano is asking residents to voluntarily switch to an odd-even system when it comes to watering. He stresses the situation is not at a crisis stage, but they want to be proactive nonetheless.
We're at the very end of the watering season and high usage, and we should have some rain coming in through November, and then through the winter, our water use falls. So please, voluntarily reduce your water use in the next couple of weeks.
Wall Street, the Dow up 238 points, NASDAQ down 63, S&P up a point. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Life unfolds in ways you never quite expect. A divorce, a death in the family,
his name in.
a personal injury. Each time you are left searching for someone new to trust. But what if you had a full-service law firm that knows you and a firm that can represent all your legal needs? With BPS Lawyers, you get more than a lawyer. You get a full-service law firm. Visit bpslawyers.com. BPS Lawyers, your lawyers for life. Proud full-service law partner of Yukon Athletics. Nick Payne-Dearis is responsible for the content of this ad.
Retirement should be about living, not worrying. At Retirement Income Source Scranton Financial Group, we build custom portfolios designed to generate steady income through interest and dividends, so your money works for you. Call us at 855-930-6293.
Investment advisory services offered by Sound Income Strategies, LLC, an SEC registered investment advisory firm. The Retirement Income Source and Sound Income Strategies are associated entities. Retirement Income Source with David Scranton is a paid program.
It's Reese on the radio. And don't say we didn't warn you on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
You know, that minute goes by fast when you say 1 minute. All of a sudden I'm looking up and I'm like, goodness, that was 30 seconds. Anyway, it does. It goes by so damn fast. Let's do the thing.
Savory, flavory, bagel, deli, and bakery. Between rounds, between rounds, between rounds.
We now say congratulations to Andrew S. of New Britain. He is our winner of the Between Rounds Dozen Bagels a month for 6 months, courtesy of Between Rounds, the Bagel Bakery and Sandwich Cafe located in South Windsor, Vernon, and Manchester. If you'd like to win, you got to go to reeseontheradio.com. It's REESE on the radio.com. You got to put in all your information in order to apply. It means your telephone number and your date of birth. Yes, we do get to find out how old you are. But don't worry, I'm not that good at math. So just fill all that information out right there at reeseontheradio.com. You must live in the state of Connecticut. You cannot have won within the last 6 months. However, even if you haven't won and you've applied in the last 6 months and you want to, up your chances, it's okay. You can reapply. It's not a problem. It's not one of those things where you only get to apply once. You notice I've never said that. Apply as often as you like. But, when we find your name, we'll pick you out. We'll send you an email first, let you know that you've won. And then, of course, you come here at about 4:05 and you hear your name announced. Make sure you fill out the information as Roland sends it to you and get all that good stuff back to the folks at Between Rounds so you can win. When we return, we have Dr. Glenn Lungarini. I think it's Lungarini. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. He is here on the program from the Connecticut Interscholastic Athletic Conference. This is the story about Chris Baker, the former NFL player, and, of course, their regulations as far as volunteers are concerned working at these schools. So we'll talk to them about that and a little bit more about what that program does, because they do a lot of great things. You'd be surprised at what they do. So we'll talk to the doctor about that, so stick around. Let's get another check of weather and traffic. Tom O'Hanlon, he's in for Mark Christopher today in the BPS Traffic Center.
I'm Tom O'Hanlon from the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. This traffic report is brought to you by Amplify CT. Well, quite an afternoon with a crash on 84 westbound. 2 vehicles involved between exits 59 to 58. The left lane is blocked there. 84 westbound is also slow through East Hartford, pretty much from exit 57 to 47. 84 eastbound, we are slowing down, exit 40 to 51. Route 2 is busy heading up now from Wilbur Cross into 84. 3 is moving, so is Wilbur Cross for the most part. And double trouble in Windsor, 91 southbound. A crash multi-vehicle between exits 37 and 36. The left lane is closed. And in Rocky Hill, a crash on the southbound side of 91 between exit 24 and 23. The left lane is blocked there too. 291's okay, 91 moving both ways between Hartford and New Haven. Mental health struggles, substance misuse, feelings of hopelessness. No one should face them alone. If you or someone you know needs support, call or text 988 today to reach the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. Together, we can amplify our mental health. Traffic and weather together on the 8s. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
This afternoon, high temperature reaching 75 degrees. After a pleasant evening, tonight will be clear and cool, low 45. Tomorrow, nice and warm with plenty of sunshine, a high of 83. Record is 86 from 2003. That will be great for viewing fall foliage. For tomorrow night, partly cloudy, low 54. Another warm and sunny day on Sunday with a high of 83. Sunshine and warm on Monday, high temperature 80. Right now it's 75 in Newington, 76 in Windsor, and 72 in Hartford. This is meteorologist Bob Smerbeck in the WTIC Weather Center.
Picture this. You're eating good food, enjoying a cocktail, and losing weight. That's Awaken 180, a program that fits into your lifestyle with coaches who support you every step of the way. Visit awaken180weightloss.com to kickstart your transformation.
Join us this Sunday for Tumalo Financial, your go-to for retirement planning and taxes. Tune in to the father-son duo from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. or catch replay from 5 to 6 p.m. Tumalo Financial, retirement planning with integrity on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Hi, Joel Johnson here with Johnson Brunetti. Taxes don't pay a nickel more than you're supposed to, especially getting close to retirement or in retirement. Call or text the word taxes to request your free copy of our Tax Explorer Guide, 1-800-705-1232. Call or text the word taxes, 1-800-705-1232. Don't pay an extra nickel in taxes.
Investment advisory services offered through JB Capital, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Insurance products offered through JN Financial, LLC.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Afford it? Too much hassle?
Got it.
Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
It's Reese on the Radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
All right, we are back, and on the phone with us, let me grab him real quick, is Dr. Glenn Longarini, who is the executive director at the Connecticut Interscholastic Athletic Conference. How you doing, Dr. Glenn?
I'm doing well, Reese. Great day for football. Let's talk some football.
Let's talk some football. Listen, I've never heard of your organization, and many others are now starting to sort of come around to who you folks are. In fact, I think Roland knew who you were as I was talking about you yesterday. What is the Connecticut Interscholastic Athletic Conference, and how is it relevant to high school football or sports writ large in the state?
Sure. The CIAC, Connecticut Interscholastic Athletic Conference, is a division of the Connecticut Association of Schools, which by its membership consists of all of our member school principals. So we have 184 high schools that are part of our CIAC and the Connecticut Association of Schools. So those principals are the legislative body voting members of our organization. And in Connecticut, we govern interscholastic athletics for our member schools. So there's a couple bodies that govern interscholastic athletics. For us, it's private, public, and parochial who choose to be members of our organization. Then there's the NEPSAC, which is the prep schools and the Founders League. Those are all within Connecticut.
Now, as it relates to this story we've been talking about with Chris Baker, this school superintendent said that in order for him to be on the field, coaching kids, mentoring kids in any capacity as it relates to football, even off the field, training or tutelage in any way, has to go through, one, the permission of the school, and also the Connecticut Interscholastic Athletic Conference. Is that a fact, or are there other guidelines that you can sort of maneuver around?
Yeah, so when it comes to our public schools, whether it's middle school, high school, intramurals, competitive sports, that is all governed under Connecticut state statute. It's section 10-149D. Those are the statutes that govern coaching in the state of Connecticut. And this all runs through the State Department of Education and their Bureau of Certification. So under those statutes, if you are not a teacher in a school system, there is a 45-hour class that has to be taken before you can interact and coach with the kids in any capacity, volunteer, paid, or otherwise, when we are part of our member schools.
And the reason for this certification, now I can answer this question because I've often talked about it here on the air. Many years ago, I want to say it was like 2005, I coached my son's little league soccer team. And before I could become a coach, I had to get what's called an F1 license. Now, I know it's probably a different license state to state, but that's what it was called, an F1 license. And I had to go on my own time to their program, which was 12 hours a day, 24 hours. I had to go 12 hours on Saturday, 12 hours on Sunday, and then wait for my certification before I could go out and work with the kids or be their coach. We're talking about the same kind of deal, right? Because there are other parts that you have to consider when you are dealing with people's children. Can you explain that?
Yeah, it's a very similar process. And, the idea of going through the legislative coaching course is that it gives that understanding for people working with youth and kids about the mindset of children, about what those goals should be, about the design of practices. It also takes you in depth into health and safety. So there's a requirement for first aid, CPR, and AED training. There's a requirement for concussion training, as well as heat illness prevention and cardiac arrest. So there's a lot of specifics that go into that, just the, general, mom and dad who haven't gone through that training may not have that understanding. And so it is a health and safety standard set forth by our state legislators.
What do you think, if you could speculate here, and if you can't in your capacity, please do not answer the question, but if you can, please, I want to hear from you. So let's say in the Chris Baker situation, he's allowed because everyone's sort of giving him this latitude. He's a former NFL player. He must know. If they had provided an opportunity for him to not go through that certification and he was training kids off-site during his own time, those parents' own time, and something like you just described just happened where, because we're talking about a dangerous sport, a contact sport, where there could be spinal injury, concussions. We've had kids who've collapsed and died on the field because of all the gear they're wearing and the heat. What were to happen who would be held responsible if indeed something like that took place and the person weren't certified?
Right. So there's two standards that you're looking at in that scenario. When it's during the sports season and the school is authorizing whatever is happening with the practices, they are the entity that stands to be liable, and they have to ensure that everybody that they have instructing the kids and spending time with the kids in any scenario does meet all of those state requirements. If you're looking at a scenario where, say it's in April or May, so we're out of football season,
right?
Parents are on their own. They're working with a coach. That coach has their own facilities. We don't have any guidelines. We don't have any restrictions against that. People are free to work with and engage with whoever they choose to on their own time. It's the point during the season that we have those requirements where you can only work 6 days in a row, and then you have to have a day of rest. So we don't want kids going on that day of rest and going and working with individuals outside, because, again, especially in a sport like football, you need that recovery time for your body. Those are requirements set forth by the State Medical Society Sports Med Committee, and those are the standards we stick to during the season.
For those of you just joining us, we're on the phone with Dr. Glenn Lungarini. He's the executive director of the Connecticut Interscholastic Athletic Conference. We're talking to him about why these regulations are important when you're dealing with the children through the schools, as it relates to athletics. And it's the same thing with every sport. I don't think that is there a sport that you guys wouldn't cover under these guidelines? I guess it would be everything, right? There isn't a sport you guys wouldn't need a certification as a volunteer to work in, right?
That's correct. And again, we follow state law. So if it falls under state law, that is where the CIAC guidelines also fall. So that standard exists for every coach, paid, volunteer, intramural, anything going on within the schools. That is the standard, and that is the requirement of state law. So that is what we follow.
So I don't know how much you know about the Chris Baker story. I know I think when we spoke yesterday, there were some things that you were learning about it. But let me ask you this, but let me sort of give you some background, and then I'll get your response. So according to Mr. Baker, his issue was, and why he wanted to help in the first place, is that he felt that there were plenty of students within the program at Windsor who were not getting their proper due. In other words, they didn't have tape on those particular students or those players, and there was no real effort to get those tapes to the right folks at schools, like D1 schools, be it Penn State, Florida State, wherever the case may be, and those kids were being neglected, and all he wanted to do was to give those kids an opportunity. Does the Connecticut Interscholastic Athletic Conference do anything like that, or are you familiar with the process to do those things?
Yeah, so actually, Reese, I spent 8 years as a Division I baseball coach, so very familiar with the recruiting process. Played myself in college as well, and also I do a lot right now with our student athletes when it comes to the world of name, image, and likeness. So looking at a lot of NIL contracts.
In fact, you have an announcement at the end of this that I know you want to talk about. So I'm going to make sure you do that.
Yeah, it was a great day today. You could just look on social media anywhere, and top basketball prospect in the state, Abdul Torre, and his family at Notre Dame of West Haven announced and signed with the University of Arkansas today. So,
he did? Okay, so he did make a choice.
Yeah, he did.
And
So
I
it
heard,
was,
I thought he was going to pick UConn because I know that UConn was one of the choices.
Yeah, he was great teasing the crowd with the three hats in front of him, and it looked like UConn for a minute there, but the red and black won out. So
well, that's
Arkansas
unfortunate.
is.
That's unfortunate. You know that UConn's a pretty good program, but okay, he made his choice. So getting back today, having been a D1 coach in baseball, the process, in other words, that that Baker's suggesting is that these kids were getting overlooked, but people on the inside said that these kids are not really D1 material. Talk to me a little bit about that process.
Yeah, so we just ran our first our first CIAC combine camp for football this past year. We ran it this summer at Western Connecticut State University. We had 135 Connecticut football players at the camp, and coming out of that camp, we had about six or seven kids that did end up having contacts and finding Division II and Division III schools. So similar to what you're saying, it wasn't, we didn't see that D1. Now across the state, we do have those D1 signings. We do have those D1 players. But, again, if you are a D1 level player, the coaches know you. If you can play, they're going to find you. I know Windsor, just from my familiarity with the school, Windsor has, they have all the huddle programs that the top programs have. They have a strength and conditioning coach, which a lot of schools don't have. That's available for their student athletes. They have an athletic trainer on staff, which is something in today's high school scenario that's considered a luxury, especially here in Connecticut. There's a shortage of trainers. So they have film, they have weight room, they have strength and conditioning coaches. They have excellent coaches on staff. So they have all that resource available to them, which many of our other suburban and urban schools don't have the resources to. So I think in this case, you look at how Windsor has positioned its athletes and programs and facilities, it truly is one of the model programs in the state. So,
wow.
I think this is more than anything. We see this from time to time. It's just a disconnect of the process that was taken. I think sometimes if somebody sat down, before they try to intervene, to understand what's the right role, how can we play this, how can we benefit each other, then oftentimes it comes out to be very positive. But when the relationship starts without that communication, then, we tend to see breakdowns, I think, similar to what's experienced here.
Yeah. Last question before I let you go. Can you talk about the rumors that there was a young man who I had the pleasure of interacting with trying to claim that you folks at a Connecticut Interscholastic Athletic Conference didn't exist because they owned the name? Can you speak to anything about that, or should that just be left to your lawyers? Because I know there's an article coming out in Connecticut Inside Investigators on Monday. Can you talk a little bit about that? Just about a minute worth.
Yeah, I think we're like the M&M guys, from the holiday commercial. We do exist. And, so this was, as you said, just an interesting case. It is in court. We have been granted a temporary and a preliminary injunction against this individual for their fraudulent claims. So, we'll let that play out in court as it is. And, continue to keep doing the great work that we're doing for our kids, coaches, and schools in Connecticut.
Well, I didn't know who you were. You and I got a chance to talk yesterday. I think we're really gonna do something in the future, and I thank you for the opportunity. I can't wait until I'm physically, there to do that with you folks, because what you're doing is great. The objective is to not only motivate but actually execute, getting these kids into things that get them out of either the situation they're in or the things that can steer them in the wrong direction. And I'm all about that. That's been my life's work as a former homeless kid, having this opportunity and this platform. I mean, I'd say, I had to do that without the organizations like yours. I had to do that on my own. So any help that I could give to those kids to say that there is an outlet for them in other places in a million different directions, I want to be a part of that. So I appreciate the opportunity, and thank you for inviting me to that.
Well, I appreciate the time with you, Reese, and best of luck. I look forward to speaking with you in the future.
You got it. Glenn Lungarini, again, folks, the executive director of the Connecticut Interscholastic Athletic Conference. Are you in Connecticut? Where's your offices, by the way?
We are located in Cheshire, Connecticut.
Oh, in Cheshire. Okay, good enough. Well, like I said, I'm gonna call you later on, and we'll talk and all that good stuff. So we're gonna have a great relationship, I promise.
Sounds good, Reese. We'll talk soon.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you. Folks, when we come back, I'll tell you a little bit more because I got some text messages from somebody who's an insider at Windsor. I'll address that in a little bit because that text message exchange that I had last night really shows that Mr. Baker, unfortunately, is being used and abused here. I'll explain in a minute. Let's get another check of weather and traffic. Tom O'Hanlon, he's in the BPS Traffic Center today for Mark Christopher.
I'm Tom O'Hanlon from the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. So they got rid of a crash on 84 westbound in East Hartford. Still looking at plenty of traffic, though. We are doing better than we were. By the time you get to Main Street, at least you're okay. But we are looking at, looks like a problem right around where Route 2 meets 84 going westbound. Possibly a collision still in the works there. On the eastbound side of 84, it's pretty busy through West Hartford. Now, 91, we had 2 accidents that happened there. So we've been looking at that, and it seems that they've cleared both of them. But here's where the damage was done. In Windsor, 91 southbound, it happened between exits 37 and 36. Looks like they pushed that off to the side. Same thing on the southbound side in Rocky Hill, a 2-car collision between exits 24 and 23. Looks like it is cleaning up nicely. On 291, we're okay. 91's fine both ways between Hartford and New Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
High pressure over the area will provide abundant sunshine for the remainder of this afternoon, followed by clear skies this evening. High temperatures not far from 75. For tonight, expect clear skies with a low of 45. High pressure moves a little bit offshore during the day tomorrow. It will continue to provide plenty of sunshine, and it will be quite warm with a high of 83. The record is 86, last reached in 2023. The weather will be great for viewing fall foliage. As we head into tomorrow night, look for partly cloudy skies with a low of 54. High pressure offshore will provide a warm southwest flow on Sunday, along with plenty of sunshine and high temperatures reaching 83. On Monday, mostly sunny skies, continued warm for this time of year, high temperature 80. On Tuesday, a front starts to move in from the west, so there'll be a few more clouds, partial sunshine, but still warm with a high of 80, showers Tuesday night. This is meteorologist Bob Smurbeck in the WTIC Weather Center.
And now, a WTIC News Update.
4:30. Good afternoon. I'm John Silva. WTIC 1080 News. Hamas said it has accepted some elements of President Trump's plans to end the war in Gaza, including giving up power and releasing all remaining hostages, but that others require further consultation among Palestinians. The statement coming hours after Trump said that Hamas must agree to the deal by Sunday evening. Speaking at his sentencing hearing in Manhattan, Sean Diddy Combs apologized and called his past behavior disgusting, shameful, and sick. He told the judge that his domestic violence is a burden that he'll have to carry the rest of his life. Prosecutors want an 11-year sentence for the 55-year-old who was convicted in July of flying people across state lines for drug-fueled marathon sexual encounters. Jurors acquitted him of racketeering, conspiracy, and trafficking charges that could have landed him in jail for life. The government shutdown continues in its third day. There was a vote in the Senate this afternoon that failed on a stopgap resolution to keep the government funded. State's congressional delegation met at Access Health CT to say that without the Obama-era subsidies renewal proposal, that's at the crux of the matter here, healthcare costs will soar for Americans. The abnormally dry weather has Connecticut Water asking residents in several towns it serves to voluntarily conserve. In Bristol, the mayor says they're asking residents to voluntarily adopt an odd-even system for watering with their reservoirs at about 70% of capacity. Kimberly Sullivan, the Waterbury stepmother accused of holding her stepson captive for nearly 20 years from the age of 11 until earlier this year, appeared in court today to address issues involving GPS monitoring, retrieval of personal belongings from the home, and access to victim medical records. The judge did rule she can return to the home. A ruling on the GPS issue has been continued. Wall Street, the Dow finished up 238 points today, the NASDAQ down 63, and the S&P was up a point. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health, where we've successfully treated thousands of men for low testosterone and helped them feel like their old selves again. Please take a moment and listen to how we helped Kurt.
You're supposed to be on fire as a person. You're supposed to want to get things done. I started having anxiety out of the blue, low libido, brain fog, not feeling driven. Literally had to push myself every day to get up and get things done. I was driving and I heard Northeast Men's Health on the radio, and the first consult seemed reasonable. So I decided to give it a call and made an appointment. They found that I had low T, and after that, it was like a light switch got turned on. I've been a patient at Northeast Men's Health for about 9 months now. Everything's gotten a lot better in my life. Energy, feeling, just work, a whole lot better. Even my kids notice. They're like, Daddy's got energy, Daddy's ready to go. If you don't feel like that, I would suggest calling Northeast Men's Health.
Thanks, Kurt. It's true. Low T therapy will likely change your life. Your initial appointment is only $99 with results in minutes. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call today, 800-930-5956, or go to northeastmenshealth.com.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Cellular. Ever wonder why Big Wireless wants you on a limited plan? They probably want you to cover the cost of those 20-somethings using all that data every month. But most people 50 and up like me only use 12 gigs or less. Don't get bamboozled by Big Wireless. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Our plans start at just $20, and we use the same towers as the big guys. Join the millions who choose something better, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/fax, or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
At LendSeek, we know running a business takes heart, hustle, and sometimes a little help. That's why we stand with you with our exclusive AI lending platform, connecting you to over 100 funders. If you've been in business for at least 2 years with a minimum annual revenue of $500,000, you can get up to $1 million in funding in as fast as 24 hours. No collateral, no prepayment penalties, no red tape. Apply. Here we go. Cost or obligation at lendseek.com. That's LENDSEEK.com.
Stay locked in. Reese on the Radio is on WTIC News Talk 1080.
All right, we'll get to some more news and views, and then, of course, my better half, Roseanne, will join us in the program. So yesterday, I'm just sitting, and I get and it's weird about the social media that I use. I'm old, so Facebook is my go-to. All right, I try a little bit of the X. A lot of you older folks that use X now, you've actually trained me on how to use X, so now I'm a little more on X. But Facebook is my go-to. But out of nowhere, I get these requests from places that I don't really dwell, and that's Instagram and TikTok. Even though I have pages on both, it's really the hood rats that mess with me on TikTok because of my former days. But over here on Instagram, I barely exist at all, but I got a friend request. Don't need to tell you who it was. All I can say is that this person is an inside track on all of this stuff dealing with Baker. And I started getting an exchange with them, and I asked very simple questions. So I said, are you familiar with the story on Chris Baker? Person responds, yes. Over it. The stuff or ish is BS. Okay? It's about the kids. That's it. And I was like, sorry to hear that. It is about the kids. All I need to know, who is making an issue? Is it Baker or the school? By the way, I will never disclose your name or who you are. Again, back to my question. All I need to know is who's making an issue. Is it Baker or the school? Answer, one word, Baker. And I pray for him. They said they promised they were going to come back to me. But again, when I said, who's the person that's Baker? And they're concerned. I also have another interview, a person who interviewed Chris Baker. I don't know if they're going to actually release the interview. And I think he is going against that, against releasing it, because he does not believe that it really puts Chris Baker in a good light. And he doesn't want to hurt the guy. I didn't want to either. In fact, now I'm learning more things about Chris Baker than I knew before. But that's the problem. A lot of people knew him, but they never told me who he was or what was going on with him. I tried to get to the bottom of the story. I spoke to the man. I didn't get any sense that there was anything wrong. I just wanted to cover the story. But then I found out that all these lies were coming out. And then more and more other stuff, all this other stuff was coming out. And then people are telling me, well, there's this and there's that. Maybe there's this factor and that factor. And then I start saying to myself, well, why didn't you bozos say anything to me about it? And they didn't, because they had no intent. They were going to use that poor man for their own gains. Because people are asking me, I was like, damn, I mean, he was a little harsh on Chris Baker. I'm like, well, don't lie to me. And then they started telling me other stuff. And I'm like, well, I didn't know that. Nobody told me that in the beginning. And now I'm seeing. Yep. Charlatans. It's always the charlatans. We'll take a break. We'll come back. Roseanne will be here. And all the news and all the views. Let's get to Tom O'Hanlon, who's in the BPS Traffic Center. My wife loves it when he's on.
I'm Tom O'Hanlon from the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. 84 looks a lot better on the westbound side after they got rid of a crash between exits 59 and 58. Still some stop and go as you're approaching the river. Founders Bridge looks pretty good, by the way. On the eastbound side of 84 at West Hartford, we are loaded up with traffic. Pockets of volume between exits 40 and 51. Route 2 is a little better up into 84. It's moving. Route 3 and Wilbur Cross are getting the job done. They got rid of two crashes on 91 on the southbound side, one of them in Windsor, the other in Rocky Hill. And now a crash in Middletown on 91 northbound between exits 20 and 21. The left lane is closed. 291 is okay. 91 is good both ways between Hartford and New Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Plenty of sunshine the remainder of this afternoon. It will be warm with a high around 75. Clear skies tonight, low 45. Plenty of sunshine once again tomorrow and very warm, a high temperature of 83. The record is 86, last reached in 2023. The weather will be great for viewing fall foliage throughout the day tomorrow. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy, low 54. On Sunday, sunshine and very warm, high 83. Sunshine and warm again on Monday with a high of 80. Right now it's 74 in Plainville, 71 in Manchester, and 73 in Hartford. This is meteorologist Bob Smurbeck in the WTIC Weather Center.
Looking for the best ways to prepare for retirement this year? Then be sure to tune in to Johnson Brunetti's Money Wisdom tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m. right here on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Protect your liver and give it the support it deserves by making Active Liver from New Nordic a part of your daily wellness routine. Find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS, Meijer Grocery, ShopRite, or online at Amazon or at newnordicusa.com.
Suicide is something that affects all of us, and we can play a part in saving lives. Make a difference in your community by walking out of the darkness with us on Saturday, October 4th at Sherwood Island State Park in Westport. Help spread awareness and understanding. Send the message that help is available and raise funds for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. Register today at afsp.org/Fairfield County. That's afsp.org/Fairfield County.
You're listening to 1 minute.
And the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install a Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
The NAACP calls him, whoa, I don't think I'm allowed to read this.
It's Reese on the Radio.
Let's just say some people are not fans. On NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
You know, my wife, whom I just shouted at and said 1 minute, is obviously nowhere to be found and does not know her cue when she's supposed to be on. And now I'm shouting for her, going, what the heck is going on? And I can't believe, like, we have to wait all day for Sean P. Diddy Coombs to be sentenced? What are we waiting for? We just get to it. Like, what's the holdup? He's going to get 4 years or not? It's not going to be 11, by the way. They won 11. It's not going to be 11. That's not going to happen. And Craig, that was just mean. That's just mean to sit up there and say that topic put you in a coma. Nothing I talk about puts people in a coma. That's just mean-spirited. Just mean. Anyway, so yeah, we're waiting on Sean P. Diddy Coombs to be sentenced and see what's going to happen there. Many people are suggesting that there is a likelihood that he has to do 4 years because, one, they would have released him after the conviction on prostitution, or they would have granted bail. And many people are saying that because the judge chose to keep him, he's going to get a significant jail time. The defense wants 14 months, which is essentially time served. I think he would do like another 2 months before he was let out. But Paul Morrow, I heard this morning, say that he sees 4 years. And before he said it, that's what I was saying. I was like, it'll probably be 4 years, and they'll consider this a year. So 3 years, essentially, is what they're thinking. I don't know. Also, we're supposed to have the sentencing of the transgender, now a revealed transgender person who went to Brett Kavanaugh's Maryland home, showed up with a gun and zip ties because of the impending Dobbs decision. And he's going to be sentenced for that, so we're waiting on that as well. Matteo says, I went to one of those parties once. I couldn't sit down. Shut up. I'm not. Why did I read that? I should have read it before I said it out loud. Knucklehead. Wendy says he thinks he's getting out because he has a speaking event next week in Miami. Yeah, you know what? I just saw that too, Wendy. First thing that ran to my mind about that, folks, if you've heard that reporting, was what a way to tick off the judge. Because somebody's going to get that to the judge. And if I'm the judge and I hear that, I'm going, are you taking this thing seriously? Like, I have your life in my hands, and you're mocking me with a speaking engagement next week? You don't respect this courtroom. Hold on. They just got another breaking news update. The judge hands down the sentence in Diddy's case. I'm not hearing anything. Let's say, yes, okay. Yes, okay, are they about to say something? I'll go put it on speaker, and I'll read what she says. Give me my props. Give me my props. Give me instantaneous. P. Diddy, 4 years. I just said it a minute ago. Hold on. Yeah. I don't know if you can hear that. I don't want to. If you can't hear it, it's going to be difficult. I don't want to have you go through that. It would sound like dead air. But yeah. So as I predicted, 4 years. It seemed reasonable that it would be 4 years, and that's what he got. I knew he was going to do some time. Everybody suspected he was going to do some time. And, yeah, there you go. P. Diddy, 4 years in the Hooskow, which I think that this year will count. So he'll be out in 3. I don't know if there's any particular. Let's get it. This would be some audio. Hold on.
Adequate punishment, arguing today that Diddy's businesses and reputation have already been destroyed. Prosecutors, on the other hand, said Diddy was not sorry and that his apology was phony and that there was some serious harm done to the victims of this case. Like you said, they wanted a sentence of at least 11 years. Ultimately, we know a sentence has now been shared with the court of 4 years behind bars for Sean Diddy Combs.
All right, so there you have it. That sentence, they're giving him 4 years and 2 months in prison. That is going to be the official sentence of Sean P. Diddy Combs. And again, like I always say, I don't. It sounds crazy. I don't want to be this clairvoyant dude, but that's I don't know. It's just I've done this long enough to know who's giving me. Let me see. Oh, that's Adam. Okay. Let's read a couple other comments before I can get my wife in here. For some odd reason, it's forgotten that she was supposed to be on the air. Cicero writes, spoiler alert, Reese's segment on white folks' nonsense will be innocuous. The first example of white folks' nonsense will be any white person who agrees with any black person. Can anyone believe we're having discussions like this in 2025? Reese, be careful. You're becoming an anachronism. Okay. Let me say something. First of all, with all due respect, Cicero. I'd like to know the Powerball numbers as well. You're so damn clairvoyant. You have no idea what I have planned. None. But trying to scoop me on my quote-unquote white folks nonsense, which will definitely never be the name. That's not even funny. That's not funny. And the bit is really hilarious. As is Negro nonsense. It really is funny. But, this idea of trying to figure out what I'm going to do, just don't try. Don't try. This is going to be better than you would expect. Okay? Way better. And just stop with whatever hate or anger that you have, whatever. I tried to have this conversation earlier with somebody on the phone. And we were talking for a great deal. And the person, as I talk to people about this who disagree with me or might be in an argument with me, they always have a tendency to get very emotional. Now, I've been in a fight before. Roland, have you ever been in a street fight? You ever been in a street fight or at least a fight that was about to go down? You ever been in one? I hope he's listening to me. He may have stepped off. Oh, okay, there he is.
What was the question?
Okay, have you ever been in a street fight or in the throes of one that's about to begin?
Been in quite a few. I've been in about two or three street fights.
2 or 3 street fights. Okay. Yeah. Before the
one of them may not count, but
okay. In the middle of the fight or the beginning of the fight, did you sense a lot of emotion? Like, yo man, I'm gonna kick your ass. Like that kind of deal? Did you like that kind of anger? Have you ever experienced that?
I didn't know it was going to turn into a street. It was it was my sophomore year in college. And it started with a girl and her boyfriend having an argument in the lobby with everybody.
Okay. And then you went there to go break it up because you thought it was going to get out of hand?
I did not.
Oh.
She pushed him so hard that he wedged in between the studs in the wall.
Oh, wow.
And he was stuck in between there. And I went to help out, and that's when.
And you ended up in a fight with him?
I went to help him out of the wall, and I ended up in a fight with her.
Oh, wow.
Not hitting her.
Yeah, but she was swinging on you.
Yeah, her attacking
me
and my one of my boys, and then that turned into her friends then his boys, and then it just turned. It was like 20-something people.
It was a melee.
Yeah.
So, okay, but have you ever been in those fights where somebody gets really, really emotional? Like, yeah, man, when I get my hands on you, it almost feels like they're crying, but they really, really want to fight.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
So that's what I was saying. So I got into these conversations about words, just about topics on the show. And the person is raising their voice and getting animated about my point of view. And during the conversation, I keep getting, you should. And then I have to stop them. I have to calm them down. It's like, listen to what you are saying. You're telling me what I'm supposed to say or what I'm supposed to think. Does that not bother you? Yeah, but you don't understand. Like, no. I need you to understand. Can you calm down a little bit? Like and it's like, I've never seen these people so angered by words. And then what I mean by this, and this is the part that I don't get, folks. This is the part I don't get. Somebody gets gunned down in your neighborhood. Like, you can have 5 shootings in a week, and I never see anybody getting that emotional. Like, I don't see people in the street going, man, it's getting dangerous out here, man. I don't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, every time I turn around, there's another person shooting on our block. I don't never hear. You know what I hear? Yo, y'all be careful, yo. Yo, man, they shooting down there. Yo, they shooting. No emotion to speak of. Reese does Negro nonsense. Yo, man, you got to stop that, man. And I'm like, what is happening to you? Like, think about that. What is going on in your brain that you are more over the top about a bit than you are about the nonsense that I'm bringing attention to? Like, you're not an ounce bit of embarrassed by Jasmine Crockett saying, just because you commit a crime, you're not a criminal? You're not embarrassed by that? Like, you don't look at that woman and go, ugh, God, I don't want to be represented like that. I don't. Do you understand that? I will never be represented by that. The difference between you and me is that I call it out. That's all. And now you get the opportunity. Now, the opportunity is now you will see some white folks' nonsenses, as Cicero's put it. And it's going to be just as fun. And guess what? When I do it, you know exactly what you're going to do. You're going to laugh, and you're going to belly slap. You're going to knee slap. Oh, look at those funny white people. And you'll feel vindicated, right? You're like, look, see, yeah, it's on. So spare me. Just calm down. Okay? No, Wendy, I can't do that. I don't know. No offense, but once I start getting the Latinos and the Hispanics involved, no, I don't want to go there. I don't want to go there. The last time I said something like that, my wife, I'll never forget it. When we first got together, I said something off color about Hispanics. She got mad. She still gets mad at me when I say Puerto Ricans. And she goes, stop calling us that. Jokingly, I used to say it all the time. I was like, I don't really do Puerto Rican food. She goes, it's Mexican. I'm like, yeah, same thing. She gets so mad at me. By the way, you folks get angered. When I was a kid growing up in New York, the Puerto Ricans would get mad if you asked them if they were Dominican, and vice versa. You couldn't tell. Call a Dominican or Puerto Rican, they will get mad. And no, she's not Boricua. That's the thing. She's not even Puerto Rican, Wendy, but she's Mexican. And she does not want to be associated. Not that she should, I shouldn't say that. It's not that she doesn't want to be associated with Puerto Ricans. That's a misstatement. It's not that. She wants to be recognized for being Mexican. She's proud to be Mexican. She does not want to be lumped in. She used to get mad at me saying Hispanic. She used to get mad at me saying Latino or Latina. I was like, well, what is it? And so, like, you call him Mexican a Mexican, you call him Cuban a Cuban, you call him Guatemalan a Guatemalan. They used to get mad at me when I used to call them El Salvadorians. She goes, just Salvadorians. Hey, it's in your name. It says El Salvador. So then when I got yelled at for saying, El Salvadorians. This girl goes, it's just Salvadorians. I said, see, this is the reason why I say Puerto Ricans. No confusing. No muss, no fuss. But it always creates a problem. Right? It's going to create a problem now. I'm screaming for you. See, I'm even getting that wrong now. It's Salvadoran. Can you get in the chair? Where have you been? You can't be minding your own business. You're supposed to be here on the program.
Sorry, I was busy looking myself up on Google.
Wendy is looking at what?
I said, I'm looking myself up on Google.
Yeah,
I'm just
funny.
joking.
Wendy says El Salvadorian, laughing my ass off. It's El Salva what?
It's just Salvadoran.
I don't know. I'm not going to pronounce it the way that you guys want me to. I'm going to ruin it, like I always do.
You ruin everything.
Yes, that's right.
Everything culturally significant.
Okay,
yeah.
well, now you're here. We got a minute until we actually go to commercial, so you'll be here. You were complaining that you were only going to have an hour.
Wow.
And I
just
told you.
Put me on blast like that. Just
We don't keep any hide.
Wow.
We don't hide here. Aaron says, you can call your white guy segment crackers and cheese. No. It's not any of those things. I feel like I should tease it.
Tease it.
I feel like I should tease it. Should I tease it?
Yeah, tease it. It's going to be fun.
Okay.
Gives the people something to look forward to.
All right. Since you guys want to bug
And
me
it'll get
about
stuck in their head.
it will get stuck in their head. Okay. So you will get ready for it. Let me go back to my screen because that's where it is. All right. Here is Tuesday's new segment for the white folks. Yeah, you know what it is. Wacky whitey, wacky whitey, wacky whitey, wacky whitey. Yeah, you know what it is. Wacky whitey, wacky whitey, wacky whitey, wacky whitey. That's right, y'all. It's Wacky Whitey on Tuesdays right here on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC. Now let's get a check of the traffic with Tom O'Hanlon.
I'm Tom O'Hanlon from the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. 84 westbound still has traffic after Main Street over to and across the river. If you're heading for Founders Bridge instead, that'll get the job done. It looks pretty good. Now on the westbound side of 84, otherwise better than it was after some earlier collisions. Also looking at the eastbound side of 84, not much of a break there. It's been pretty slow in West Hartford, especially now from exit 40 to 51. Route 2, a little bit better, but still sluggish up into 84. 3's moving, so is Wilbur Cross. 91 is still slow going southbound from 291 after an earlier crash in Windsor. And if you're going eastbound on 291, it is some traffic across the river and then it opens up. In Middletown, a collision on 91 northbound between exits 20 and 21 has the left lane still blocked. 91 southbound, you're okay if you're heading for New Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th. WTIC News Talk 1080.
This report is brought to you by Moderna.
Mnexspike, COVID-19 vaccine mRNA by Moderna has arrived. To learn more and find it near you, visit mnexspike.com. That's MNEXSPIKE.com.
WTIC weather.
Later this afternoon, sunshine will continue to prevail. It will be nice and warm. High temperature not far from 75. High pressure in control tonight with clear skies, a low reaching 45. During the day tomorrow, high pressure begins to move offshore. It will be warm with plenty of sunshine. High temperature 83. The record is 86. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy skies, low 54. On Sunday, lots of sunshine with a high of 83. This is meteorologist Bob Smurbeck in the WTIC Weather Center.
WTIC is celebrating 100 years on the air and 100 years of serving Connecticut. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
5 o'clock, good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Partly sunny skies, 72 degrees, the Hartford temperature. Multiple people were sent to the hospital in New Britain this afternoon following a stabbing incident in the city. Call came in around 2. Residents on Allen Street. Police say the victims were transported to hospitals. The stabbings appear to have stemmed from a domestic disturbance. Kimberly Sullivan, the Waterbury stepmother accused of holding her stepson captive for nearly 20 years from the age of 11 until earlier this year, appeared in court today to address issues involving GPS monitoring, the retrieval of some personal belongings from Sullivan's home, and access to victim medical records. A judge ruled she can return to the home, but a ruling on the GPS issue has been continued. As for the medical records, the prosecution says they need to be redacted to protect the privacy of the victim after changing his name. Defense attorney Ioannis Kaloidis.
If her accuser wants to hide and be anonymous, well, that's not how this works.
Audio from WFSB. Now, the victim set fire to the home, you remember, in February to escape captivity, according to police, who also say he weighed only 68 pounds at the time. Sean Diddy Combs has learned his fate on prostitution-related charges in a Manhattan courtroom. He gets 4 years plus 2 months in prison. The defense wanted more than 14 months, but the judge said wanted less. The judge said a substantial sentence nonetheless was needed to send a message to abusers and victims alike. Correspondent Anna Schechter was in the courtroom and says the defense
painted a picture of someone who struggled with drug addiction, who had a lot of trauma in his life.
Combs addressed the court and apologized, calling his behavior disgusting, shameful, and sick. Hamas has accepted parts of a deal to release hostages in Gaza.
With tonight's statement, tonight Middle East time, and then this afternoon here in the United States, a signal that perhaps talks could very well begin in earnest soon. Unclear who, when, over what specifically, because all 20 of those points were quite complex and could take days, if not weeks, to sort out each individually on the path to peace.
It's correspondent Ed O'Keefe reporting. Democratic Congressman John Larson says some federal services like Social Security checks, Medicare, and Medicaid will continue as usual during the shutdown. However, a West Hartford meeting with constituents turned into a forum on Democrats' approach to the standoff and President Trump. WTIC's Dave Mager was there.
Larson says there was room for Democrats to negotiate the extension of federal health care subsidies, but the president stomped it out.
Trump said, no, you don't need to negotiate with them. I would prefer a shutdown that I can blame on the Democrats.
He says Trump is exploiting fear with the false claim that Democrats are pursuing insurance coverage for undocumented immigrants. Pushed by a constituent on whether Democrats have the backbone for a fight with Trump, Larson said Democratic lawmakers will stick together, and it's up to Republicans to show a spine and stand up to the president. In West Hartford, Dave Maker, WTIC 1080 News.
A vote on a continuing resolution failed earlier today in the Senate. Bristol Mayor with this message for city residents about water use.
We're not in critical stage, but I want to make sure people understand what voluntary water restrictions mean. If you live on the even side of the street with an even numbered house, you can water on even days. If you live on the odd side of the street with an odd number house, you can water on the odd side of the street.
Mayor Jeff Caggiano stresses this is all voluntary. He says the reservoirs are still at about 70%, but it's not critical. He says there is some rain due over the middle of next week, and the watering season's just about done anyway, but they want to get ahead of this. On another front, Connecticut Water is asking residents it serves in the towns of Clinton, Madison, Guilford, Old Saybrook, Westbrook, and Plymouth to voluntarily conserve due to the abnormally dry conditions. Dow finished up 238 points today. NASDAQ lost 63. S&P was up a point. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law
1 minute.
McDowell,
Yes,
definitely
sir.
not an attorney. This is Chuck. Do you feel stupid for buying a timeshare? Don't. It's not your fault. You were most likely told you could rent it, and it was a great financial investment. And the deal was available today only. If this happened to you, contact your resort or Wesley Financial Group for help today.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-791-1313. 800-791-1313.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
Our office computers were from like 2012.
What? They had computers then?
Yeah, I don't know much about new tech.
Apparently.
So I went to Staples and saved big on an AI-powered HP laptop and HP OfficeJet Pro printer, which also came with 3 months of free instant ink.
And we're back in this century. During Staples HP,
Oh, that's just
up to 35
Anson.
printers and up to 40% on AI-powered
What was
HP
that?
PCs.
That was easy.
In-store or
I said in 10.
Into nothing one, select models only.
The hour that packs a punch. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
All right, we'll get into traffic and weather in a little bit, of course, at this top of the hour. And, of course, we got plenty of people on the phones. We'll get to them in a second as well. Roseanne, we're going to go see the Panic tonight. The Panics tonight. Sorry, the Panics tonight. Was so horrible on my part. We're going to go see them perform tonight. What do you – I have to ask you this just real quick, because you say you like live bands. They're going to play a lot of the songs we've already seen or heard them play before. That doesn't bother you to go back to hear them play the same songs that you heard them play before?
You want to know what my biggest gripe is about going to see them?
What?
I hate dive bars.
Is that the only reason why you don't?
Yeah, I really don't like
The
dive
place
bars.
where they're going to play is kind of a dive.
Yeah.
But I love them. I love dive bars.
That was the difference between us and our drinking days, right? Like you were a dive bar kind of guy. I was, nightclubs or restaurant drinker.
Champagne rooms kind of deal.
That sounds strippery, but
yeah,
no.
well, whatever. Yeah, that's right. That's exactly what that is. But yeah, champagne. I was trying to say champagne flutes.
Yes, champagne flutes.
Yeah,
definitely.
I'm a dive bar kind of guy because I kind of feel like even though I didn't go to college, I'm a frat boy at heart.
Everything is sticky and I don't know. It's dark and it's dirty and the paint is peeling and it's sticky and I want to drink my Coca-Cola with no ice, but I don't know who put their mouth in the glass before. And do I really want to drink out of a straw? And it's a lot of like mental problems. But I love the Panics though, and they're so good. And the entire band, like all the guys, are amazing. Yeah. And we actually met the girlfriend of the bass player.
Yes.
When we were in Corpus, and she was really, really freaking cool.
Yeah,
she's really cool.
I'm going to tell you about a Hogs and Heifers experience. I was at a bar called Hogs and Heifers, and it was, I don't know if it's still there, in the meatpacking district. Yes, that's what it was called. And I was there. I'm going to tell you a great story about that. It was funny as ever. As I was inside of it, this woman stopped the whole venue. Like they were partying, having a good time, playing country music. And this bar back stood up on the bar, told everybody, shut the music, shut up. And she pointed directly at me because I was wearing a tie inside Hogs and Heifers, which you're not allowed to do. I'll tell you the story in a minute when we get back. Let's get to Tom O'Hanlon. He's in the BPS Traffic Center. That's the reason why I love dive bars, by the way.
I'm Tom O'Hanlon from the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. 84 westbound slows down as you're crossing the river. We have some traffic, obviously, through Hartford, as is often the case. A Founders Bridge is a good choice if you want to try that. Going up Route 2, we see some traffic feeding up into westbound 84 and eastbound 84. That is still loaded up all through West Hartford. A little bit better, but still pretty steady, especially getting heavy up into Parkville. Route 3, we're moving along. So is Wilbur Cross. 91 is still seeing plenty of traffic action on the southbound side from 291 after an earlier crash in Windsor. 291 eastbound, that's pretty heavy as you're working your way over to the river. And a crash on 91 northbound between exit 20 and 21 in Middletown. The right shoulder is now blocked. 91 southbound, we're okay heading for New Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8s. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Sunshine the remainder of this afternoon. High temperature not far from 75. Tonight will be clear and cool with a low of 45. Lots of sunshine tomorrow, turning nice and warm in the afternoon. A high temperature of 83. The record is 86. The weather will be great for viewing fall foliage. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy, low 54. As we head into Sunday, plenty of sunshine and very warm with a high of 83. More sunshine on Monday, high temperature 80. Right now it's 74 in Newington, 71 in Bristol, and 72 in Hartford. This is meteorologist Bob Smurbeck in the WTIC Weather Center.
Join us this Sunday for Tumalo Financial, your go-to for retirement planning and taxes. Tune into the father-son duo from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. or catch replay from 5 to 6 p.m. Tumalo Financial, retirement planning with integrity on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Hi, this is Eric Hogarth, certified financial planner from Money Wisdom. Learn ways to prevent avoidable surprises from derailing your retirement and discover smart financial strategies for your future. Listen every week on Money Wisdom, Saturdays at 8:30 on WTIC News Talk 1080.
More than a few of our patients have talked to me about their first time, but it's not the first time you're probably thinking about.
It's the first time that erectile dysfunction ruined the moment. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health. And if you're over 50, it's likely that you've had that first time yourself. But the good news is that if you're like most men, that first time can be the last time that ED impacts your sex life. At Northeast Men's Health, we're experts in treating ED. We've treated tens of thousands of men using protocols with success rates well over 90%. And those treatments, in most cases, have made sex great again for both them and their partners. You could even find that you're performing like you haven't in years. So if ED has been affecting your intimacy, it's time to make the last time that happens the last time that happens. For just $99, you'll receive blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956. That's 800-930-5956 or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the Northeast to serve you. Northeast Men's Health, a Promenic restorative health practice.
Attention.
1 minute.
$1,000 or more in credit
Thanks,
card
sir.
debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-207-4545. That's 800-207-4545. Once again, that's 800-207-4545.
I'm Tom O'Hanlon, and you're listening to Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Oh, that's Roseanne's favorite
I
right
love
there.
it.
She loves
It's
every
the
bit
best.
of that. So, we'll get into some other stuff, but
Hogs and heifers.
okay. So let me tell you the hogs and heifers thing. So, it's my first real corporate job, and I'm operations manager of a small private logistics, same-day logistics company, and I've got to go to work every day dressed like that. I'm dating a very wealthy young lady, and yeah, she was.
Is it the one that I know about?
Yes, tap dance. So,
I'm kidding.
so we go. You're rolling your eyes. So we go to. We're thinking. Oh, she's with her best friend Lacey, or her friend Lacey, and her boyfriend, who's an older guy, a little older than me. I'm in like 27 at the time. Anyway, so I'm wearing a suit and tie. He's wearing a suit and tie. Whatever. No, he's just wearing a button-down shirt, no tie. But I'm wearing a suit and tie. I'm looking the part. Anyway, we show up at this place in the Meatpacking District, 14th Street, way on the west side. And I've always heard about this place, Hogs and Heifers, because very famous actresses go there. In fact, I'd read an article in the New York Post that the last waitress that was there was not only Julia Roberts, but she had taken off her bra, because it is a custom for you, if you dance on the bar, take off your bra and then hang it inside the establishment, and they keep it there on the display. They don't mark it.
I'd have a training bra there. Yeah.
So they don't mark whose bra it is.
Right.
It's not like a museum, but that's the custom.
Right.
And I had read in page 6 in the New York Post that Julia Roberts had done that. So it was supposed to be, and I'm like, wow, that's really right near our house, because I lived on 12th Street. And I said, you know what, we should go there. It seems like a lively place. So anyway, we immediately go there after work, and I'm there. So Lacey is probably the only black person there with me at this place. And it's a cowboy bar, but it's friendly. So I walk in with my shirt and tie. I'm technically in a suit. I walk in, and we just walk in, and everybody else is nervous because they've never been in this atmosphere before. Me, dive bar, I'm in my element. We get in there, and I'm just looking at the place, loving it, because it's just wild. It looks like a bar fight's about to break out. Well, anyway, this short little something, red hair, jumps up on the bar, and with a pair of Doc Martens all the way up to her knees, and screams at the person running that, turn that GD music off. Turns it off. Everybody, shut up. And so the people I'm with are scared to death now. She points right at me. She puts her whole body in it to point to me. She goes, you son of a bee. And everybody's looking at me. And I go, yeah? She goes, if you don't take off that tie, I'm going to ring it around your neck and cut it off. And I'm like, okay. And then she turns around and she says, now come over here so I can give you a shot. And I'm like, and the crowd goes nuts, and the whole night goes, these people who are with me lose it. They are scared to death. Are you sure we're safe here? I, on the other hand, loved every bit of it. And sure enough, she gave me a quick shot out of the bottle, and it was the best place ever. I mean, still to this day, I still remember that. Coyote Ugly was supposed to be its comparison, so to speak, but this was much more lively without all that line dancing and silliness that you saw over there. So I love that. I love that place.
All right.
It was just Hogs and Heifers was the name of it. I don't think I've ever even told that story before. Now, I sent this to you because somebody sent me this note.
Yes.
About they were in the hospital.
He's in the hospital.
Well, he's in the hospital currently. His name is Mike.
Hi, Mike.
And Mike, we get well soon, and don't start any more trouble.
He didn't start trouble.
Well, technically he did.
Didn't do anything
He should have
wrong.
been wearing his earbuds.
No, he shouldn't. It's America. Welcome to America.
This
is the message from Mike.
Yes.
I hope you have a good show today. Quick story. I'm in the hospital and listen to the show, either streaming off Facebook or from the Odyssey app. Yesterday I was listening to the show when the nurse walked in and asked if she could help me. I told her I didn't call. I suddenly hear a voice calling from the bed behind the dividing curtain, yelling, "I called you." The nurse goes over and asks what he needs, and the guy goes off. "I'm not staying in this room any longer. That guy," meaning Mike, "is listening to some MAGA poop over there," and I had to censor that part, and I can't take it anymore. I was just about ready to offer to put in my earbuds when the nurse says to him, "Do you think he enjoys listening to MSNBC shows? That's all you have on every time I come in here." He started demanding that the nurse move him, so the nurse told him she'd talk to the charge nurse. She comes back in a half hour and says, Mr. C. Mr. C, we apologize for the inconvenience, but we will be moving you down the hall to a private room. So Mike gets moved to a private room. That is all my neighbor had to hear. How is it that he gets a private room when I'm the one who complained? And the nurse fired back. We assign private rooms based on the needs of the patient and the needs of the hospital. I thought this guy was going to stroke out. He says to her, "You're telling me that this hospital thinks that MAGA patient's more important than my needs?" As they pushed me out of the room, I told him, "Have a good day," and he replied with a bunch of
expletives.
Fun little flurry of flagrant foul words. To you and all of your little Trump-tard friends.
Yes, that's what he called it. You and your little Trump-tard friends is how he ended it. This is the reason why I said, Mike, I appreciate you listening to the program. I love your support of the program. But in certain spaces, you got to put your earbuds on when you're in public.
Absolutely
you just got to do it.
Listen,
you don't think so?
In public, yes. I hate when people walk around with speakerphone. Oh my God, having these ridiculous conversations, or playing their music. Like everybody wants to hear your garbage music, right? But if you are in the privacy or the confines of a hospital bed and you have a shared room, you know me. Like I think we can both listen to our programs on our phones or whatever if we are respectful about volume, right? We've both got enough space.
I'm not really good with that.
You're really not. But in this situation, the young man is in his bed. It's not like he can, freely, I'm assuming, freely get up and walk into go down to the cafeterias. Like, this is where he is assigned. This is where he needs to be for medical care. I'm assuming he doesn't have it on full blast with, like, his Bose speakers and the whole 9 yards. He said he's listening on his phone or the app. So, the other guy just needs to be a little more tolerant. But in Mike's defense, or in the other guy's defense maybe, he is a Democrat, which makes him much more tolerant and patient than us Republicans and
He said that MAGA crap.
Yeah.
Well, I've never heard anybody refer to me as MAGA crap. In fact, Cicero, who's in the chat room, who I'm hoping that he left. And what I mean by that is, and this is I truly do believe this. Okay, I am not too big to fail. Right. And I am not trying to alienate anyone. I want to make sure I make that clear to you. I'm not trying to alienate you in no way. I'm just trying to do my show. And if you don't like it, okay, I'm not for everyone. You know, and I do get that. Some people get annoyed at me. My good friend Craig, who I broke bread with, said that my story was boring. He hurt my feelings,
Like the
and
Hogs
I
and
mean,
Heifer story?
No,
Oh. A different
about
one.
Baker.
Yeah, Hogs and
Well, you
Heifers
didn't like.
No, it was great. Great story. Loved it. It was had all the feels in it. It was great.
Anyway, I'm so mad at you right now.
I like to say that not everybody likes me, and that's okay because not everybody's got good taste.
Damn right.
And that's okay. I mean, you don't have to. I'm not begging for anyone to like me.
Exactly.
And if you like me, it's because you have good taste, or you're open-minded, or you're thick-skinned. You know, people who do not generally like me, and I'm assuming the same is true for you, are people who are more sensitive and easily hurt, easily offended. And you know what? I appreciate this. Stick with your own crowd.
But what I don't understand is, right, and maybe I'm not making this association, and maybe that's where the problem is. I have more people who criticize this show by stating what I need to do to make it better for them.
Right.
I've not experienced that in my life unless it was a woman I was married to.
I was going to say hello.
You know what I mean? It's like, that's the part that I don't get. So maybe, and this is coming from men, so I know I'm gonna be really be harsh here. Like, guys, on the real, you get my point here. You sound like a woman trying to change your boyfriend. I'm not your boyfriend. And the fact that you would call up or send me a message and be like, you know, people aren't going to like you when you behave like that. Sorry, mom or sweetheart. You gotta stay. Like, that's not a manly thing to do. Like, I've never met anyone, like, and I've been in this scenario. I've had a woman ask me, if you found out that one of your friends was cheating, would you talk him out of it? I'm like, no. And I'm like, you wouldn't talk him out of it? I'm like, no, because I'm not that person. Like, why would I be sitting up there telling us, like, well, you know, you shouldn't do that. Like that, right. I'm not trying to be his moral guy.
Reese doesn't do advice.
Yeah, I don't do advice. Like, I'm not interested in that. So, you know, like, I don't, and I'm not in this thing where, even with my friends who suck, Jamie Montgomery, God forbid, I've known that guy for over 30 years. And everybody says, like, how could you deal with this guy for 30 years if he was such a, like, he was a drain on you? And he was. Financially, mentally, spiritually. Jamie Montgomery was an absolute, like, again, he was a leech, but in the worst kind of way. Not in a leech in a way that the guy's always asking for money. He was just soul-sucking, like that bad. Emotional vampire. And he was in my life for 30 years. And people were like, why did you stick around with him? I said, because guys don't care about, like, to the point where, you know, I got to get away from him because he's affecting me in that way. But he was absolutely an irresponsible lunatic.
It was like having a little golden retriever puppy.
Yes, but he was my friend. And my loyalty to him was willing to accept his BS.
Ew.
You know, it was just one of those things that's like, it's sort of a character flaw that you kind of go, that's Jamie.
Now I understand why you're so patient with me. You have a high tolerance for BS.
People say that all the time. But you know why? Because deep down, and I do believe that it's sort of like, I'm hoping that there's some reciprocity here.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Are you paying it forward?
Exactly. Because when I'm
to the pearly gates, like, listen, Jesus, I was nice to all those idiots.
Sweetheart, listen, you tell me every day there are things that I do that annoy you. Like, you'll be in the middle of a sentence and I'll stop listening because I'm distracted.
Oh my God, you just reminded me of this morning. Yes. God, you're awful.
Yes.
I love you.
So you'll be in the middle of something and it won't even be deep, but it'll be something that's relevant at the time.
You just stop listening
and I'll
mid-sentence.
just stop listening while I'm looking at you.
It's the worst. I literally told him, listen, if you can see me right now on the camera, right? I literally told you this morning, I'm so happy I'm married to you. And you said like this, and went back to, and I was like, you didn't even hear what I said, did you? And you looked at me, and it was like you startled back to consciousness.
Like you woke me up.
Yeah, and you're like, I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said. And I was like,
we were a foot away from each other.
Not even. And you looked at me and you're like, what did you say? And I was like, well, I did say that I was happy to be married to you, but now.
Yeah, I don't, like I
God,
said.
you're the worst.
Like,
I'm mad at you again.
So this is, so this is the reason why I'm patient. This is the reason why I'm considerate of others. I know that people are going through their own thing, but I don't make it about me. I don't sit up there and go, if only they would behave the way I want to. I don't. I had to have a discussion today when I told them, I said, you need to read the book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a F. And it's a great book because it's a book that got me to be concerned about the things that matter and not give a blank about the things that don't. And things like I know that they matter to other people. I can't expect everybody to get the same thing from the book, but I did. And I don't lose it. I don't like completely pull my hair out because things aren't going my way. They are what they are. And when I listen to these people and they're writing these comments like they're the most important person in the world, and please adhere to, or I need you to adhere to the things that I like, I look at them and I go, bye, you can always go. We will not miss you. If you hate it here, if you're bored here, if you think what sucks, this show sucks, please go.
You know what the best part is? The people who gripe the most are not only listening the most, but they're inviting their friends to listen.
Boom.
So it's like,
boom. Right.
What is it? All publicity, not bad publicity is good.
There's no such thing as bad publicity.
It's all good.
Yeah, well, and again, that's the thing. What I've noticed about it is like drugs are bad, right? It doesn't do anything for you. Alcohol, in many ways, if you get addicted to it, can do bad things to you. Well, apparently so can Reese on the Radio. It's an addiction. That's all it is. The thing that they say is bad for them, that makes them angry, that makes them irate, that makes them scream and holler at their television or radio, all of those things is Reese on the Radio. And when they can just go, when everybody, an irrational person says to them, just stop listening, they respond by going, no, I have to stay. And I would just simply go, I want to do a promo on WTIC where a person is holding a syringe to an arm and just saying, I just can't get enough.
They got little Reese on the Radio
Yeah,
face.
Reese on the Radio
just
on the syringe.
Your face is inside the needle, just injecting it. Yeah.
And exactly. I think that's what it is. I think it's truly an addiction. Like
they are addicted to being angry, but that's what you expect. Like I learned that when I crossed over to this side of the aisle. I needed to be enraged. I needed to be angry. And being over here, it's so calm and peaceful. I eat donuts all day. So it's like.
Let's get a check of weather and traffic. Tom O'Hanlon, he's in for Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. We'll get your phone calls.
I'm Tom O'Hanlon from the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. 84 westbound, we're in good shape as you're heading across the river, just tapping the brakes a bit through Hartford, but not too unusual there. On the eastbound side of 84, no such luck. It's still pretty heavy through West Hartford, working your way up through Parkville, and then into Hartford. It gets a little bit busier as you get in closer to the city, but still that lingering traffic, and also moving along on Route 2 up into 84. On 3, some stop and go, but not too bad. Now we're looking at 91. That's been pretty busy, heading on down from 291, about a quarter of a mile below 291. We have a crash in the HOV lane reported there, southbound 91, and also 291 going eastbound from 91. We're looking at plenty of traffic there. In Middletown, a collision on 91 northbound exit 20 to 21 has been cleared. 91 southbound, you're okay if you're heading for New Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8s. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
High pressure over the area will provide abundant sunshine for the remainder of this afternoon, followed by clear skies this evening. High temperatures not far from 75. For tonight, expect clear skies with a low of 45. High pressure moves a little bit offshore during the day tomorrow. It will continue to provide plenty of sunshine, and it will be quite warm with a high of 83. The record is 86, last reached in 2023. The weather will be great for viewing fall foliage. As we head into tomorrow night, look for partly cloudy skies with a low of 54. High pressure offshore will provide a warm southwest flow on Sunday, along with plenty of sunshine, high temperatures reaching 83. On Monday, mostly sunny skies, continued warm for this time of year, high temperature 80. On Tuesday, a front starts to move in from the west, so there'll be a few more clouds, partial sunshine, but still warm with a high of 80, showers Tuesday night. This is meteorologist Bob Smerbeck in the WTIC Weather Center.
And now, a WTIC News Update.
5:30, good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. The Waterbury woman accused of keeping her stepson locked up for more than 2 decades was back in court in Waterbury for a hearing today. A judge ruled Kimberly Sullivan is allowed to return to that Blake Street home to collect personal belongings. On another front, a request to have her GPS bracelet removed was continued. The now 32-year-old alleged victim set fire to the home last February in an attempt to escape. Authorities say he weighed 68 pounds at the time. 50 months behind bars for Sean Diddy Combs, the disgraced music mogul, learned his fate today in a Manhattan courtroom. He was sentenced on prostitution-related charges after he was acquitted of more serious trafficking charges earlier this year. Hamas says it has accepted some elements of the President Trump plan to end the war in Gaza. It includes releasing the remaining hostages, dead and alive. Trump has told Israel to immediately stop bombing Gaza for ceasefire talks after Hamas says it is open to negotiation. Some water issues in parts of the state. Connecticut Water asking some customers it serves in several towns to voluntarily conserve. They are Clinton, Madison, Guilford, Old Saybrook, Westbrook, and Plymouth. In Bristol, the mayor there, Jeff Caggiano, has a similar message for city residents. He's asking them to go with an odd-even system for the time being when it comes to watering. The reservoir is about 70% of capacity. Group of Connecticut National Guard soldiers shipping out. 1st Battalion, 102nd Infantry, headed for a year-long deployment to the Middle East. They'll arrive in Texas for training before that. Connecticut's Democratic congressional delegation met at Access Health CT in Hartford today to explain how they see healthcare costs rising for residents if Obamacare subsidies are not continued in the next federal spending plans. Speaking of which, hopes for any quick end to the shutdown pretty much faded, at least for the weekend. Senators were back at the Capitol for another vote today on a stopgap spending measure that failed. On Wall Street, the Dow gained 238 points today. The Nasdaq was down 63, and the S&P was up a point. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Your portfolio might be growing, but is it paying you income? Growth is not the same thing as income. At Retirement Income Source Grant and Financial Group, we build custom portfolios that generate income. Stop selling assets to pay for your retirement. Call now for your free income consultation at 855-930-6293.
Investment advisory services offered by Sound Income Strategies, LLC, an SEC registered investment advisory firm. The Retirement Income Source and Sound Income Strategies are associated entities. Retirement Income Source with David Scranton is a paid program.
Peter L. Brown Roofing is celebrating 65 years of trusted service in Connecticut, and to thank the community, they're giving away a brand new roof valued up to $12,500. Enter for your chance to win an Atlas Pinnacle roofing system with Scotchguard Protector from 3M, designed for durability and beauty. Visit odyssey.com/WTICAM to enter today. See website for contest rules. Peter L. Brown Roofing, siding, windows, and doors.
Peter L. Brown, we do it right the first time.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio. Gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here.
Yo,
to
did
take
you
your
hear
most
50
pressing
Cent's
leaf-related
response to
questions.
P. Diddy
everybody,
sentencing?
Chris here. I understand we have Ron.
Nah.
He's
Ron,
cold.
where are you calling
That
from?
boy's cold.
He's the pettiest of the pettiest.
Oh, yes.
I'm a ladder.
Well, I was.
I am so here for it.
I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. Leaffilter.com. See representative for warranty details.
The Odyssey app lets you jump back to the moments you missed from WTIC News Talk 1080. Download the free Odyssey app, search WTIC News Talk 1080, and tap earlier today to get started.
Yeah, we want to thank Dr. Glenn Longarini, the executive director of the Connecticut Interscholastic Athletic Conference, for being a part of the show. If you missed it, download the Odyssey app or go to WTIC.com or ReeseOnTheRadio.com in order for you to hear the interview with Dr. Glenn. We will be doing a lot of stuff with him. And to sort of give a breakdown of what that was Dr. Glenn asked me to on occasion, if possible, for me to talk to some of the young people, especially those in the inner city, to see about getting them interested in other things other than some of the stuff they're getting involved in. And he asked me, he says, a guy like you could really benefit these young men. And that's all I needed was an ask. And I told him, whatever it is, sign me up. Whatever it is, just sign me up. I don't care where it is or when it is. Sign me up and I will be there. So I want to thank him for at least considering me for that. What we do here is for everybody. It's not, it's not a left or right, especially when it comes to young men or young kids who are trying to do better in their life because they don't know. A lot of these kids don't believe that they have a shot. A lot of them are being inundated with ideas that tell them that, one, there is no hope. I just had this conversation with the boy. His I guess friends or his peers, a lot of them think there's no hope for them, and that's a thing that's been sold to them. That in essence it's all useless. It's kind of like what's that old saying? We'll never make it, and it's like this doom and gloom fatalist approach to life. Whatever happens, happens. And it's not like the way that, positive people or optimistic people, it's like, whatever will be, of course. But these guys are like, whatever. What am I putting any effort into it for? It's just going to be what it is. And that is the wrong way to go. Unless these folks or these kids learn to pursue the things that they want or to have some hope that they can do it, they're not going to do it without our help. So if I can help, I want to be a part of that, if I could. If I can say this, if you guys get a chance to watch Roseanne, when she sees a young person who's thinking about joining the military, or if they're not even thinking about the military, Roseanne will bring up the military to these young people.
Absolutely.
But if you watch her when she talks to them and parents about the military, sometimes I have to tell them, run.
Sometimes.
She'll keep you here. But no, she loves what it did for her, and she thinks it'll benefit a lot of these kids that everybody who don't have, don't think that they have a chance. So you're really, really big on that. When we come back, we'll get to your phone calls and we'll wrap this up for the weekend. So stand by. Here's Tom O'Hanlon. He's in the BPS Traffic Center.
I'm Tom O'Hanlon from the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. We're doing well on westbound 84. If you're crossing the river, we're doing fine into Hartford. Just some stop and go here and there, but not a big deal. On the eastbound side of 84, getting a little bit better. We still have the traffic through West Hartford, and then it is still pretty busy up into Frog Hollow and vicinity, and then up into Hartford. Now, if you're going down 91, we do have that traffic below 291, working your way down about a quarter of a mile below 291. We had a collision in the HOV lane going south, so that has jammed things up a bit, and looks like 291 is getting heavier if you're going eastbound off of 91, heading over to the river, so give it some extra time there. Moving along on Route 2 up into 84, 3 and Wilbur Cross are in good shape. Traffic and weather together on the 8s. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Sunshine and warm the remainder of this afternoon. Temperatures holding in the low to mid-70s. It will be clear and cool tonight with a low of 45. Plenty of sunshine and very warm tomorrow with a high reaching 83. The record is 86, last reached in 2023. For tomorrow night, turning out clear to partly cloudy, not as cool, low 54. Sunshine and quite warm on Sunday with a high of 83. More sunshine on Monday, high temperature 80. Still warm on Tuesday, but more clouds, high 80. Showers likely Tuesday night. Right now it's 72 in Farmington, 70 degrees in Middletown, and 72 in Hartford. This is meteorologist Bob Smurbeck in the WTIC Weather Center.
If you want thick, healthy, gorgeous hair, then you need Hair Volume by New Nordic. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com or in the hair aisle at your local CVS.
Dreaming of a perfect smile? At Columbia Dental, our orthodontic experts specialize in braces and clear aligners like Invisalign. Get the smile you've always dreamed of. Open 7 days a week. Call 860-645-0111 or visit columbiadental.com.
Hi, I'm Joe with SimpleSaleUSA.com, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 203-896-4000. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition, any price range, and more importantly, anywhere in Connecticut. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that is trash and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, because I love buying junk houses. I buy vacant houses, abandoned houses, condemned houses, and even foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 203-896-4000. That's 203-896-4000. 203-896-4000.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck well, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit information kit. 800-384-9393. That's 800-384-9393.
We know you're uncertain about psychics. Is this fortune teller you found on a forum legit?
Your one true love is...
me! That's why California Psychics reject 98% of the psychics who apply to work with us. We guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. Customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. So experience the joy of certainty at CaliforniaPsychics.com. Get insights on the go. Download the California Psychics app today.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is.
You know who it is.
You know who it is. It's Reese on the Radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
All right, about to wrap this puppy up. Let's get to a couple of phone calls and get up out of here. Bob's in Walcott. How are you, Bob?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. What's got, sir?
Well, I want to go back to a conversation that was going on when I first tuned in. I think it was something about Bruce Bann saying something that was kind of important, but you already kind of tuned her out.
He wasn't listening either.
Well, I just tuned in. But
No, what she was saying was that she was very happy to be married to me, and while she was talking, I was listening to the television at the same time, and I completely tuned. I can't multitask. I completely tuned her out.
Well, that's kind of where I was getting to. I guess I just worded.
No, that's okay. It's all right.
But you know, I gotta say, in Reese, in your defense, when you're having idle chit chat with a young lady, girlfriend, or a wife, there's a lot of idle chit chat going on. There's a lot of stuff that doesn't really pertain to anything meaningful. But here's the big but.
Okay.
She will slip in something really important in the middle of that.
Yes.
And then go back to the idle chit chat. And it's happened to me.
Yeah.
I was told when I was still married, I was told by my wife, well, we're supposed to be doing this tomorrow. And I'm like, we are? Yeah, I told you this 2.5 weeks ago. 2.5 weeks ago? When? We were talking. I told you about it. I'm like, you did?
It's so, you know what? And what I've got to learn to do, this is what I have to do. If she puts something for us to do, you've got to stop her. That's what I got to do. I have to stop her and have to actually put it into my phone, put it in the calendar, and then I got to put an alarm for it.
I have to stop you and tell you, stop, look me in my optic stems, repeat what I just said, now put it in your calendar. I have to do that like a 4-year-old.
Roseanne, you're dealing with guys. Our brains work totally differently.
Meanwhile, I can remember.
You're a lovely person.
Thank you.
No, I know. Listen, I take full responsibility, Bob. I'm working on it. I got to get better. I'm not getting there, but
It's not.
I got to
But
get
you
better.
know what?
And Roseanne.
Yes.
And Roseanne, by the way, I'm former Air Force, and my son is going to be joining the Air Force next year.
Wow, congrats.
Yeah, my son's going into the Citadel in the fall, and I'm former Army, so you count. I'm kidding. We need our air conditioning and our cable TV, so yeah.
Bob, thank you so much, Bob. You have a wonderful weekend, okay?
Yeah, you too. Thanks.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you, man. Let's go to, there's a bunch of people I want to go in here. Let's go to Matt in Newington. Hello, Matt.
Hey, Reese.
Yes.
I don't understand what the point of that interview was with the guy from the CIAC.
Oh.
I mean, he didn't really clear up anything that's going on with Windsor, and I got to say, you dropped the ball big time when he said that Windsor is, I believe you said like a great program in Connecticut high school football. I forgot the exact words.
Well, according to the parents, and we're talking parents who have kids in football programs opposed to Windsor, who have played against them and have games against them coming up, they describe Windsor High School as an elite program. Like, in essence, they put a lot of work and effort into it. The purpose of Dr. Glenn Longorini was to explain the significance of the Connecticut Interscholastic Athletic Conference as it pertains to what the superintendent wrote about Chris Baker trying to volunteer at the school and refusing to go through the proper channels. I was trying to have Dr. Glenn sort of reiterate the importance and the significance of what they do as far as getting kids into D1 programs. There's a process.
Well, why would the CIAC not act on a school not having a volunteer or a coach that's certified in their program for so many years?
Well, they're not. Well,
How
that's.
could they not step in and take care of that?
But that's
and for him to say that they're a model program, what he said. They've been investigated for grade violations. They've been investigated for recruiting kids from other cities to come to their school and play. Cities with bad school districts that allow their kids to go to other school districts. They had
Okay, wait, stop. You're going, Matt. I want to get you, Matt. You're going, Matt. Don't go ham, because now you're filibustering. When you start making those claims, you're not giving me a chance to actually isolate each one. So let's start with they've been investigated for. Okay, so they've been investigated for, and the result was?
The results were nothing.
Okay, so Matt, so that's what you're trying to suggest now, and say that's the swing. And I tell people this all the time. You're not talking to somebody at the Hartford Courant. You're not talking to somebody at NBC Connecticut. You're talking to Reese on the Radio. And when you make a claim like they've been investigated for and have been found guilty of, that's separate. When you say they've been investigated for, that could be for a host of reasons. Perhaps there's a school or a program who thinks that they're doing. May I finish? May I finish? May I finish? Okay.
Yeah.
Perhaps, and again, if you're not revealing that, if you're just saying they were investigated for, and that suggests that they're doing something nefarious, that's not enough. You can't tell me they were investigated for and nothing came about it, or they were found to do nothing wrong. That should be saying that those folks are doing what they're doing is on the up and up because they had an investigation, people looked into them, and they're on the up and up. So your claim about being investigated does not tar and feather them.
It's not. They're not on the up and up because they're investigated by the CIAC. And if you had done some research on them, you would see.
So wait a minute. When we talked, I just spoke to the executive director who made no claim as such about whether or not they're being investigated or whether or not they're doing anything.
They were in the past.
Of course. Okay. So again, they were in.
To say that they're a model football program with all the things that they've been investigated for and accused of in the past.
Okay, how long ago are we talking, Matt? Matt, what year? Hold on, no. What year were they investigated?
Multiple things over the past
Matt,
10 years.
do better. What year were they investigated?
Do better.
I just asked you a question. Answer it. What
You
year
just
were they
interviewed
investigated?
the guy on the subject. Shouldn't you have this
Matt,
information?
I'm not the person. First of all, I'm not the person making the allegation. What year were they investigated, Matt?
They've been investigated multiple times.
What
in the
year?
past 10 years or so. I don't know the exact date.
Then
2
you
years.
should. Then again, when you come here and you start making allegations and you don't have the information, your allegations
I'm
are
not
moot.
making allegations.
Yes,
I'm
you
bringing
did,
up
sir.
facts that happened
You
in the
did.
past. What
You said
allegation did I make?
you said they're not a model program, and here's evidence. And when I asked you when were they investigated, you don't have the info. So please tell me that the next time that you call up this program and you wish to indict another program, another person, human being, or institution, that you come here with the information. Do not be lazy, sir. I don't
You
accept.
don't have the information yourself.
Matt,
You just
I
interviewed
never,
the guy
I
who
never
don't have
suggested that they were
information.
investigated,
You gotta
and
do a better job.
we
You
don't
gotta do a
do.
better job yourself.
Matt,
Thanks, Matt. You have a wonderful day. Bye.
we don't do lazy here, Matt. Do better. I don't know. With all due respect, I don't like laziness.
Listen, I think that some people think that investigation equals bad,
Yep.
right? Like you're being investigated, you're bad. I was in the military, and part of getting a security clearance requires an investigation of your background to
Yep.
ensure that you are, somebody that is well within the means of being able to maintain whatever level of security that you have, right? I've been investigated. My background has been investigated. I was married to a federal law enforcement officer. I had to be investigated for that as well, part of his background. Does that somehow mean that I have committed crimes, or I'm somehow unreliable or not dependable?
Yeah.
I can't talk
Well, no,
today.
the thing
But
that I'm
because
trying to.
I've been investigated.
But the thing I'm trying to understand with him is like, I'm going to express that they've been investigated before. So, okay, fine. You're the one who's letting me know that clearly I didn't do my due diligence and they've been investigated before.
Right.
So when I ask you, when were they investigated?
I don't know. The
Oh,
last
no.
10 years.
Okay, so
And it's your fault for not having the information that he was going to bring to you that you didn't know you were supposed to have.
Exactly.
Shame on you. Gosh. Where's your crystal ball? So disappointed in you.
Again,
You are
and
not the man I thought I married.
this is the lazy.
Listen, I learned the hard way, folks. When Reese and I got together, I was a heavy left-leaning liberal. I was entirely too self-conscious to dye my hair blue, but I would have probably bought a blue wig. I learned in our marriage that if I'm going to come to you with some allegations, some accusations, my biggest thing was, well, what about this racist, misogynistic, homophobic thing Trump said now? And you're like, oh, that's your clip? Watch the whole thing. And that used to make me so mad, like, gosh, and that taught me that in order to be able to converse with you on a level playing field, I needed to come prepared.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for the left liberal leaning side, that converted me because I started to realize I was being lied to as a left leaning liberal.
But again, the thing
I
about
was prepared. I was trained. You trained me unintentionally on how to investigate properly and bring forth questions that is going to open a dialogue and at least give me a footing based in fact and not just some willy-nilly, well, purple.
The thing about Matt was, and again, this is Matt, and if you're listening and you think that I'm being harsh on you, Matt, I know.
He did it to me too.
Matt, no offense, but I tell people that maybe you're new to this program, but there isn't anything under the sun I haven't already investigated. And the reason why I kind of put him on the spot was because I knew that if anybody was going to go after Windsor, this isn't a Windsor story. This isn't even a CIAC story.
This is that weirdo
This is the
story.
kid, right? This is about the young man who says that he runs it, and it's also the other sad part is about Chris Baker wishing to be a teacher or a coach for these kids without the proper certification. So making it about what you're making about has nothing to do with the story. I know all about the Windsor investigations. Everybody knows about it because everybody told me about it. And to think that I didn't do my research is dumb. That's what I'm trying to express to you. So coming in here talking about something that has nothing to, like he pointed out that Dr. Glenn said, there are stellar persons, and that is what he took issue with, means that he obviously misunderstood what the point of the conversation was, which is also what he brought up. He was like, I'm not understanding the reason why you had him on. Well, then you haven't been listening to the show. You didn't listen to the show. You didn't understand there was a background, and the reason why he was here had everything to do with Chris Baker. Not knowing that, he wanted to pick out something that he had a gripe with and make it about that.
So it's kind of like saying, Lady A was robbed in a McDonald's parking lot by gentleman B, and everybody's griping about, oh, you didn't check the McDonald's.
Yeah, or in his case, it was like, did you know that the fries were cold that day?
Those fries are made in seed oils.
Like, yeah, that's the kind of argument he was going to have. All right, before we wrap it up, we've got to make it controversial. It's Friday night, and you know who it is. White Mike.
White Mike.
He's calling from
My
Florida.
favorite. Hi.
Earlier in the show, Reese, you were talking about the kids who did the poems or whatever about gun violence.
Yes, in the inner city.
And how the left doesn't really care about dead black children and gun violence and the blacks and all this.
Yes.
Well, I'm kind of noticing that most people don't really care until it bleeds over and starts affecting business and white people.
You're right.
Which is why troops are going into Memphis.
Yes.
As a white person, I don't want to speak for all white people, but as a white person, I think that we've done a lot. We've tried to fix this for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
We've spent billions of dollars, and it seems to be the same thing. So if inner city black areas are just basically the Gaza Strip, I don't care. Just keep it there. You know what I mean?
You know what? You're 100% right. Let me sort of take another example of what you're talking about. Is a lot of people when I was growing up said that there was not a war on drugs until they started seeing guys on Wall Street doing drugs, right? Doing the drugs that were in the inner city. Like nobody,
suburbs.
right? Nobody cared about crack until it reached the suburbs, right? The suburban kids. And the truth is like I always, when the guys used to say that to me in the hood, I used to go, no offense, but that makes sense because industry is there. You have workers, you have people who contribute. If those things go away, it's hell after that. So yes, they have to respond to it. If it's happening in the least productive areas, no one's going to care. And I'm sorry, but that's just the truth. In the same way you're looking at it now. Why is Memphis? Why is Portland? Why is Chicago now kind of in the purview of the President of the United States? And you're right. It's because now it's bleeding off into places that are productive who actually establish our society. And that's the reason why.
And there's only so many white people we're going to see killed before it gets tiresome.
Yeah.
And on that note, have you seen this Governor Stein in North Carolina is refusing to sign the law written for that Ukrainian girl, Irina?
Wow.
The legislature passed it, both houses, and it's on his desk, and he doesn't want to sign it. It's literally called Irina's Law. It's to get rid of cashless bail and all this stuff,
and he's not going to sign it.
Control on these magistrates, and it's sitting on his desk.
Damn.
And surprisingly, he is the first of his ilk to be governor of North Carolina. I'm not saying anything, but you know what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying. Thank you, Mike. As always, buddy. Thank you. Always a good call. As I always say, radio is free, so we thank you for paying attention. Remember to keep JC in your hearts and in your mind. Sean Patrick, we love you and we miss you. Remember that panic is not planning, so plan your work and work your plan. Me, I'm Reese on the radio. She is Roseanne on the radio. Say goodnight, Roseanne.
Good night, Roseanne.
We will see you guys next time. We love you. Be good to each other, and we'll be back here on Monday, God willing. Holler. Here's Tom O'Hanlon. He's in the BPS Traffic Center.
I'm Tom O'Hanlon from the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Heading down 91, we have some...
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, sir. You have fun bowling.
Yay!
Yes.
I hear you're a bowling snob.
Yeah. You stay away. You stay away from those loser bowlers. Go bowl with the elites.
Like
Now
us.
it is improving. Just some stuff.
What
to
is
go
that? A
heading
house
across the river
ball?
to Hartford,
Get away
eastbound
from me.
Wrenches,
House
shoes.
house shoes. Oh, 1,000 feet has been in those shoes.
Too bad. And below Hartford on 91,
That's
we're
why I
in
don't
pretty good
bowl.
shape.
Yeah, that's why.
Moving
Yeah,
along
Roseanne
on
won't bowl just
3
for that
and
reason
Wilbur
alone.
I don't blame her.
Up into 84 and back.
Have a good one. I'll see you on
If you're
Monday.
heading down
Yes, sir. Enjoy.
New Haven, we're doing well too. Traffic and weather together on the 8th.
All right, everybody. Have a great weekend, everyone. And
Can I say hi to Julie and Eric?
yeah, you can say hello to.
Hi, Julie and Eric.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that's right. Julie and Eric are watching. Did they text you that they were listening to the show?
No, I just assumed.
Just assume they were.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, don't forget, folks. On Tuesday on Reese on the Radio. All right, we got Wacky Whitey coming up every Tuesday to contrast with Negro nonsense. So now you guys can feel like you're included. Yeah, you know what it is. Wacky whitey, wacky whitey, wacky whitey, wacky whitey. Yeah, you know what it is. Wacky whitey, wacky whitey, wacky whitey, wacky whitey. All right, now you got your own. You got your own now. All right, I love you guys. Be good. Stay out of trouble. And again, as I always say, be good to each other. I love you.